Part 6. Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 51. Roar. The Western Demon Bull King suddenly let out a roar. The other demon cows also followed the Demon Bull King and launched a savage charge towards Lu Shu. Sense of hostility. Lu Shu's eyes moved slightly. When he noticed the Western Demonic Bull King, this kind of boss could sense dangerous hostility. Therefore, the effect of night concealment was ineffective. Thousands of Western demonic cows, he launched a savage charge against Lu Shu, and the whole earth trembled. Pikachu, spread out in all directions. Form a circle around the demonic cow. Use Quake Fruit. Lu Shu immediately commanded. Pikachu used its extremely agile speed to easily fool the Western Demon Bull. They would just rush in a straight line stupidly, just like a bullfight, and could easily attract all the cows to form a herd. A circle. When 100 Pikachus complete the circle surrounding the Western Demon Bull, Yumai, release the final chapter of the grimoire. Lu Shudeo. A golden secret grimoire book appeared on Yumai's shadow. The next second, endless golden magic power spread like a tide towards the Western demon cows. All the demons the cow was attacked by magic power, and his body was temporarily imprisoned. Then, 100 Pikachus activated the power of the shaking fruit. Boom! The ground cracked instantly. When Yumai possessed Pikachu, the S-level mental power using all his strength to release the power of the shock fruit, the Western demonic cow in the circle was swallowed up by the cracks that opened crazily. You killed the Western magic cow, special beef add 1. You killed the Western magic cow, special beef add 1. Moo. The Western demonic ox king let out a deafening roar. Feeling the death of a large number of his kindred around him, the Western demonic ox king was completely angry. The demonic bull king of the west launches the demonic bull roar and enters violent mode. The attributes of the Western demonic ox king have been increased by double. Pikachu, keep attacking. Lu Shu said. However, when the damage from the Zhen fruit fell on the Western demonic ox king, it made a ding sound. The demonic armor of the Western demonic ox king resists physical damage. Yumai, use magic missile. Lu Shudeo. The golden fishing missile, under the control of Yumai, flew towards the Western demonic ox king. There were bursts of golden explosions. The demonic armor of the Western demonic ox king resists magic damage. Can even magic be counteracted? Lu Shu frowned slightly. The effect of the demon armor was beyond his imagination. The Western Demon Bull King launched a charge at an extremely fast speed. Its attributes were already very high, and after entering the violent mode, it also gained with the double attribute increase. The speed is much faster than the ordinary Western Demon Bull. Pikachu, get out of the way. Lu Shu said. Yumi immediately gave a vigorous energy. A green light curtain appeared on Pikachu's head. Vigorous energy not only restores health points, but also has an acceleration effect. Pikachu used acceleration to avoid the attack of the Western Demon Bull King. At this time, Lu Shu took out the Holy Grail. The holy water with the power to purify demons will be dripped onto the rainbow sword. A series of sword lights with a purifying aura slashed towards the demonic ox king of the west. Reaching the Xiantian realm, each of Lu Shu's sword lights can span 100 feet, and the damage caused is extremely exaggerated. Click. Click. After being attacked by several sword energies, the demon bull armor on the demon bull king of the west cracked open with a burst of shattering sounds. Moo. The Western demonic bull king was a little scared at this time. After calling his bluff, he wanted to escape. How could Lu Shu give it a chance to escape? This is a boss that took a lot of effort to deal with. Pikachu, use the shock fruit. Lu Shu said. Boom. The earth cracked open again. At this time, Without the physical resistance of the demon armor, all the power of the shaking fruit was released. The Western Demon Bull King could no longer avoid the fate of being killed instantly and died on the spot. You killed the Lord of Demon Manor Western Demon Bull King. Get top beef x 100. Get the scepter and torch add 1. Get demon armor x1. Obtain the key to the lost Holy Land x1. Lu Shu's eyes immediately focused on the demon armor. Demon armor. Type, armor. Grade, platinum level. Attributes, defense 410, magic resistance 220, durability 500, resistance add 30. Demon 8-piece set, 1/8. Set effect, none. Description, made by demon armor. In Castlevania, I may have other opportunities to gather more advanced armor. Lu Shu thought. The effect of the 8-piece set of Dead Souls is indeed a bit insufficient. Moreover, boss usually has special resistance. Lu Shu realized that if he wanted to kill the Lord Boss of Castlevania, he might also need to just find some key equipment. At this moment, his eyes suddenly focused on the key to the Lost Holy Land. What's this? Lu Shu clicked on the item description. Key to the Lost Holy Land. The demon cows in the demon farm are not raised for food. The meaning of their existence is to guard what is behind, and those forgotten paths may be the key to killing the demon king. Something to guard. Lu Shu's eyes moved slightly. Is there a special area behind the devil's farm? Do you want to use the scepter torch X1 to light the fire source? Yes. The next second, the fire source of the scepter torch became much brighter. Like a holy fire in the dark night, it disperses the gray fog. Lu Shu's field of vision increased from the original 65 meters to 80 meters. Set up an exploration formation. At the command, the Pikachus immediately dispersed, with each Pikachu being 80 meters apart. In this way, Lu Shu's field of vision expanded to a radius of 8,000 meters. He could effectively observe the nearby environment. The scope of the Devil's Farm is extremely large. Big, this place is just a wasteland, and there are not many reference objects to refer to. Lu Shu left a teleportation array on the spot. Although this is a Castlevania, it is a neutral zone, and after the Demon Bull King of the West was killed, this place became a safe zone. A save point was left here. Then, Lu Shu took out the pointer of destiny. I want to find the location of the Lost Holy Land. Soon, a prompt popped up. Do you want to consume primary soul X1 to provide guidance? Yes. The next second, the pointer of fate moved slightly and chose a direction. Lu Shu led the large army of Pikachus and shrunk the formation, so that each Pikachu was about 10 meters apart. After all, the distance of 80 meters is too far, and if something unexpected happens, it is impossible to quickly concentrate the troops. After setting up the formation, continue to move in the direction pointed by the pointer. Sacred Tree Island. Lu Shu's body opened its eyes. In front of him, portions of beef appeared. After killing thousands of Western demonic cows in the demonic manor, you can get as many of these ingredients as you want. The warehouses of clones and main bodies can be shared, and the same goes for equipment. Lu Shu took out the top quality beef, got some ingredients from those magical plants, and started making today's delicacies. Let's have a jam steak. With a thought, Lu Shu made a jam from the primary spiritual energy fruit and used it on the steak. The taste of this fruit is extremely unique and can be matched with all foods and methods. It can be said to be the top delicacy in the world. Use advanced cooking. A beautifully colored, fragrant, medium rare jam steak is completed. Take a bite first. The chewiness of the beef and the flavor of the jam are perfectly blended together. Lu Shu tasted it himself with satisfaction. Today's listing was carried out. Trading panel. Seller, Lu Shuren. Item, special marmalade steak. Category, high-end food. Quantity, 100 copies. Condition, redeem for primary fertilizer. Not even a second after it was put on the shelves, all the 100 ingredients were sold out. It didn't take long. The chat box filled the screen with a burst of foodie wails. Ah, I didn't get the delicious food from Lusha Boss this time, I feel like I'm going crazy. If I don't eat Lusha's delicacies for a day, I will feel uncomfortable all over. Upstairs, your problem now is not that you should eat delicious food, but that you should eat vigorously. Take good care of your body. Ha ha ha, I once again grabbed the delicious food from Lusha Boss, so I quickly took a bite. Oh my god, this taste feels better than last time. Wow. The ingredients for this beef are too good. I am afraid you haven't noticed that the transaction interface has confirmed that the ingredients produced by Mr. Lushu are high-end ingredients, and the types in the auction are unmistakable. It's sour, I managed to grab it yesterday, but today I missed the high-end delicacies of Lusha Boss. This taste is nothing to brag about, but as long as I taste it once, I feel that my life has been worth it. The Tree-laying Boss, YYDS. At Tree Raider Boss, are there more delicious foods? I can't wait to grab them. Are you buying other people's things? Why does it feel like grabbing a red envelope? After a long time, Lushu did not release more delicious food again. About 100 servings per day will increase the stickiness of the market, and then let customers who cannot eat top quality beef compete with customers who are still hungry for top quality beef. This feeling of not getting it will only increase their desire to buy. Getting stronger and stronger. Then completely develop the habit of grabbing delicious food every day. In this way, when they want to add money in the future, they will even accept it without hesitation. Mu Tingfeng's eyes suddenly lit up. At this time, the handicapped party will have to use their money skills. Hurry up and find Lusha to trade. Release a pack of advanced fertilizer. You get a premium jam steak. Mu Tingfeng took a deep breath, and with a solemn expression, he gently cut a small piece of the steak in his hand and put it into his mouth. That meticulous movement was like performing a sacred ritual. When the taste of steak, accompanied by the familiar jam, melted in Mu Tingfeng's mouth, her eyes suddenly turned cold. It's that kind of fruit. Mu Tingfeng has eaten a lot of primary spiritual energy fruits and is very familiar with this taste. However, she never thought that this kind of fruit can actually make jam, and it goes very well with the taste of steak. It's different. The strong taste of black pepper, the fragrance of jam and the chewy texture of beef, when paired together, will make you unforgettable. The quality of his ingredients is also very high. Mu Tingfeng enjoyed it for a while. Then, he focused on Lushu's special beef and fell into thinking. I have explored so many dungeons, and it seems that there are very few places where high-level ingredients can be dropped. Could it be that? Is he already conquering the abyss-level copy? Mu Tingfeng was suddenly surprised. Now, even the top experts at the top of the rankings are just exploring the difficult level dungeon. Lushu has actually reached the abyss level dungeon? This level of difficulty is completely not the same thing. World public screen. This kind of ingredient from Lusha Boss is very powerful, and it seems that only abyss level dungeons can produce it. Real or fake? Boss Lushu has already reached the abyss level dungeon. Isn't this strange? Before the invasion of the Grey World, the boss had already achieved the first kill of the difficult level boss. Now, isn't it normal to start fighting higher difficulty dungeons? Oh my god. When I played a difficult level dungeon, I was already dying. The big guy Lushu actually started playing an abyss level dungeon. The gap between people is really huge. Worship the boss. A difficult copy. At Dark Knight's feet, lay the body of a difficult level boss. He opened the world public screen and saw the chat on it, his eyes moved slightly. The location of the tree lifter is around 42, 43. In that place, The only Abyss-level copy is Castlevania. Unfortunately, it is too far away from my coordinates. It will probably take a long time before we meet. The location of Raxhasa is very close to this location. His eyes moved slightly. And near Raxhasa, the location of the tree-raising man appears in the Castlevania at coordinates 43, 41. Go there and look for opportunities to see if you can take down the tree-raising man. If there is no chance, inquire about him first. With your abilities, if you can complete the mission, I can give you the highest reward. Raxhasa I obey, leader. Coordinates 44, 44. Raxhasa led several masters from the Dark Knight Alliance to form a team and successfully cleared a difficult level dungeon. After the invasion of the Grey World, most of the surviving Sacred Tree Masters had something, and after figuring out the monsters in the Grey World and the dungeon, their strength also increased slightly. Raxhasa grinned. You follow me to Castlevania. I'm really curious about what kind of strength that person on the list has. By the way, if you have the chance, you can even steal his first kill. Recently, there have been reports of boss killings in the Grey World. Many Sacred Tree Masters in the Dark Knight Alliance have the skills to escape and hide. Many boss killings were caused by them. I cleared a level after the difficult boss. Raxhasa suddenly felt that he could do it. He led several accomplices around him and rushed towards the Castlevania. After one day, in front of Lushu's eyes, the ruins of a civilization appeared. Tip: there is a special area ahead, the ruins of the Lost Holy Land. Exploring there may yield unexpected rewards. Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 52. Special Zone. Lushu instantly realized that he might have found the key location to break through and conquer the Castlevania. Last time in the ghost town, Lushu found a way to kill Red Melee from the prophecy. Castlevania is obviously smaller than the ghost. The town is much bigger. According to the prompts, this ruined city has clues to clear Castlevania. Enter the ruins. It's a wreck here. In the past, ancient and magnificent buildings collapsed into ruins. The ruins and ruins are in ruins. Set up an exploration formation. Lushu asked all Pikachus to be 80 meters apart from each other, so as to get the maximum view of the ruins most effectively. After exploring for a while. Tip: there is a prophetic stone tablet here, which seems to record ancient legends. Lushu walked forward according to the direction prompted. The language on the stone tablet is automatically translated by the system and displayed before your eyes. Ancient pioneers once again made correct predictions. The devil will wreak havoc on the world and bring disaster. The holy city, blessed by God, is the last line of defense against the invasion of demons. Only the holy sword in the hand of the god of war can kill the devil. But it's a pity that the god of war is only immortal after all and cannot defeat the devil's curse. Since then, disaster has spread to the holy city, and all civilization here has been reduced to ruins. The dead soul of the god of war was sublimated and survived, but was cursed by the devil and fell into a situation of no return, having lost his mind. But the devil cannot kill the god of war. It is afraid of the holy sword in his hand and the aura of his immortal heroic soul. The demon sealed the god of war to the ruins of the ruins until everyone forgot about him. After reading the prophecy on the stone tablet, Lushu's eyes moved. No wonder the site of Castlevania looks so much like a human city. It turns out that this place was originally a human city, an ancient holy city. But after encountering the invasion of demons, all the humans in this holy city died and became the demon city. According to the prophecy on the stone tablet, if you want to kill the cursed demon king, the holy sword is an indispensable piece of equipment. The holy sword should have a strong restraint effect on demons, and this sword is still in the hands of the god of war. However, the god of war turned into a dead soul and was imprisoned deep in this ruins. Understand the surrounding situation. Lu Shu immediately took out the destiny pointer. Find the location of the soul of the god of war. Do you want to consume primary soul X1 to provide guidance? Yes. The next second, the hand of destiny trembled on the dial and pointed to the west. Assemble into battle formation. Lu Shu said. All the Pikachus quickly gathered together, and the distance between them was reduced to 10 meters. With the guidance of the fate pointer, there is no need for such a large exploration range. Lu Shu walked towards the depths of the ruins, passed by. At this moment, a voice suddenly came from his ear. Ding! You got a devil fruit. Sacred Tree Island. Lu Shu's body opened its eyes. Boom! A wave of air rolled up around him. After this period of practice, Lu Shu's cultivation level also broke through to the second level of Xiantian. Originally, at this stage, the speed of cultivation would slow down. However, Lu Shu obtained the Spirit Gathering Tower, Tianmen, and Tianji formation, which increased his cultivation speed to another level. Therefore, the speed of cultivation has also become faster. Are devil fruits ripe? Lu Shu's eyes moved slightly. He looked towards the sacred tree. At this moment, the sacred tree was a bit taller and thicker than when he just arrived at the intermediate spiritual tree. Among the golden branches and leaves, there was a fruit shining like golden light. It grows out. It's hard to imagine that this is a devil fruit. Those who didn't know it thought it was another life fruit. Lu Shu stepped forward and gently picked off the fruit. Shining fruit. Type, devil fruit. Function, obtain the power of the shining fruit, which can release flashes of light to attack opponents, causing great holy light damage. What a good thing. Lu Shu's eyes suddenly lit up. The shining fruit is also an extremely powerful devil fruit. In the sacred tree game, this fruit is more prone to long-range damage, but it has the attributes of holy light. Lu Shu, it is clear that the holy light has a purifying effect on demons. And this fruit would be very good if you and I could take it. Plant it first. Lu Shu buried the shining fruit in the soil. Soon, a shining fruit tree sprung up from the ground. Shining fruit tree. Variety, subspecies spirit tree. Product, life fruit. Cycle, 0.6 days, 365/550. Remaining production times, 1. It only takes half a day for the sparkling fruit tree to fully mature. A trace of expectation flashed in Lu Shu's eyes. At that time, the troops exploring the Grey World will be brought back through the teleportation array, and Yumi can swallow the sparkling fruit. Devil fruit, there is no defensive fruit so far, for example phoenix fruit. In terms of attack, Lu Shu's body already has the second level innate cultivation and the profession of shadow assassin. In comparison, the devil fruit does not have that much of a bonus to him. But if it is given to pets, that power multiplied by 100 is still quite terrifying. Not to mention that Yumi is a pet with a high innate mental power. After having the shining fruit, her combat ability is even worse than before. Although the fishing missile and the final chapter of the grimoire, the power is not small, but those are magic damage, and the devil has a strong restraint effect on magic skills. If the power of the shining fruit is unlocked, Yumi's role in clearing copies will be improved to more than one level. Next, Lu Shu opens the sacred tree panel. Divine tree. Stage, intermediate spiritual tree. Sunshine, 240/day, 2.3x100. Spiritual energy, 220/day, 2.1x100. Subspecies spiritual tree remaining capacity, 9, total 10. Products, life fruit, growth fruit x3 production cycle, 3 days, 1650/550. Growth points, 12,325, 13.1x100 equal 1300/day. Next stage, advanced spiritual tree, 20,000 growth points. After resisting an invasion of grey fog, the area of the Divine Tree Island has increased. Coupled with the blessing influence of various mythical buildings, the sunlight and spiritual energy absorbed by the Divine Tree every day have increased. The number of growth points gained every day is 1,300, and the growth value has reached 12,000. After the devil fruit matures, the next product will be the life fruit. Lu Shu's eyes lit up instantly. During this period, subspecies of spiritual trees such as Tianling fruit and advanced spiritual energy fruit have reached all production cycles and have been decomposed into high-grade wood by Lu Shu. There are still many subspecies left. The location where the spiritual tree was planted was not used. In addition to the life fruit, this time the divine tree also produced 3 more growth fruits. All of these growth fruits can be buried in the soil to obtain 3 additional growth fruit trees. Lu Shu, it is speculated that this kind of growth fruit has a high promotion effect on the growth of pets. In addition to being able to be swallowed by UMI and Pikachu, if there are extra, you can also feed the golden dragon koi. It can increase the number of lucky mythical creatures, so it must you have to raise it. Lu Shu feels that the reason he was able to find the ruins of the lost Holy Land so easily this time in Castlevania is also related to the lucky attribute attached to the koi. Open the character panel. Characters. Divine Tree Master, Tree Raider. Powers, Resonance, Teleportation, Clone Occupation. Shadow Assassin, Master Level 2. Skills, Advanced Carpentry, Advanced Miner, Advanced Decomposition, Advanced Camouflage, Advanced Cooking. Training Level, Innate Level 2. Talent, 100 times increase, SSS level, Fruit of All Realms, SSS level, Spring Revival, SSS level. Luck, D+. Spirit, A. Divine Tree, 2. All that is left to do is to practice, become stronger, and then wait for the fruit to mature and become stronger again. Grey World. Castlevania, the ruins of the lost Holy Land. In front of Lu Shu's eyes, an ancient altar appeared. The floor of the altar is covered with mottled sword marks, and it looks like it has been through a great battle. Tip, 80 meters ahead, the dead spirit of the god of war appears. When Lu Shu approached the altar, suddenly, a soul emerged from the altar and looked at Lu Shu with cold eyes. God of War Revenant. Category, Cursed Revenant. Danger Coefficient, A+. Perception Range, 100 meters. Power, 610. Speed, 430. Defense, 310. Skills, Holy Sword Judgment, Holy Sword Guardian, Holy Sword Sweep. Description: he was originally the most popular person in the Holy City, the respected god of war, but unfortunately in the final battle, he failed to defeat the cursed Demon King. Instead, all his consciousness was eroded, and he gradually turned into a revenant monster that was difficult to kill. Damn devils, die! The dead spirit of the god of war roared and pulled out the holy sword from behind. There was an evil curse lingering around his body. It can be seen that after being cursed by the cursed Demon King, the god of war has completely lost his mind and turned into a mere monster that knows how to kill. Lu Shu calmly stared at the dead soul of the god of war. Although the demon did not kill the god of war, that was because the god of war still had the holy sword on his body. His essence was still a dead soul. As long as he had the right method, he could definitely kill him. Killed. UMI, possess Pikachu. Pikachu, use 100,000 volts. Attack the dead souls. Lu Shu commanded. Since it is a dead soul, thunder and lightning have a strong restraining effect. Under UMI's acceleration, Pikachu immediately opened an offensive formation. After so many battles, Pikachu's current combat awareness has also improved. Very strong, he quickly understood Lu Shu's plan, and the cooperation between them was in an orderly manner. Even without Lu Shu having to say anything, Yumai knew when to release the vigorous energy and when to use the fishing missile. Sizzle. Sizzle. Lightning flashes and the thunder dragon roars. The god of war revenant sensed the fatal restraint attack and quickly blocked the holy sword in front of him. The god of war's revenant activated the holy sword guard. Resistance to all types of attacks. Lu Shu took out the dead soul sword. Activate the magic sword Thousand Blades. Thousands of blades, carrying the aura of holy water, attacked the dead soul of the god of war. However, even this kind of attack that restrains the soul of the dead still shows a prompt when it attacks the soul of the god of war. Immune to purification attacks. Lu Shu couldn't help but frown. The dead soul of the god of war is in the form of a spirit body and is immune to physical attacks. Originally, its weakness should be its fear of purification and lightning attacks. However, the revenant god of war possesses this holy sword, making him invincible. The holy sword is immune to purification attacks, and lightning cannot have any effect on this sword. This means there is no way to kill him. The situation has temporarily fallen into a stalemate. Although the god of war revenant was suppressed by 100 Pikachu and UMI, he was unable to resist. However, the special attributes of this guy made it difficult for Lu Shu to kill the opponent. Zi sizzling. Sizzling. The huge electric current caused the body of the dead god of war to continuously retreat. Suddenly, the dead soul of the god of war seemed to realize some danger, and hurriedly jumped to the side, avoiding the fire suppression of thunder and lightning and Lu Shu. Then, returning to the center of the altar, the god of war's soul entered a defensive state again. After several rounds of attacks, suddenly, Lu Shu discovered a pattern. Whenever the Pikachus launched an attack, the god of war would, when the dead soul is pushed to the side of the altar, the opponent will realize the danger and immediately jump back towards the center of the altar. What does this mean? It is very possible that the dead soul of the god of war is not completely invincible. His existence depends on this altar. If it leaves the range of the altar, the god of war soul may be in danger of being killed. Therefore, he will jump towards the center of the altar at the risk of being harmed by restrained attacks. Pikachu, launch a fan attack. UMI, use the final chapter of the grimoire to suppress vitality. Push the body of the dead god of war outside the altar. Seeing the battle situation clearly, Lu Shu immediately adjusted his battle plan. After receiving the order, the Pikachus immediately jumped away in all directions, adjusted their positions, and released the 100,000 volts again. Zizz. Zizz. Like a thunder dragon, the electric light spread out in a fan-shaped arc and flooded the soul of the god of war. At this time, the soul of the god of war was continuously pushed towards the outside of the altar by the fan-shaped thunder light. Moreover, in this case, the soul of the god of war had no angle, it can jump back towards the center of the altar. As long as it dares to do this, not only will it have to face 100,000 volts x 100, but Lu Shu's magic knife Thousand Blades, which is purified by holy water, has long been waiting for the opportunity beside the dead soul of the god of war. As long as he dares to jump, he will face the fate of instant death. Finally, the lightning-like thunder waterfall pushed the soul of the god of war outside the altar. Demons, you demons! Sooner or later, the holy light will purify you. The dead spirit of the god of war roared unwillingly. Finally, when his figure came outside the altar, he suddenly turned into a cloud of gray mist and disappeared. Success! Lu Shu smiled. At the same time, several prompts popped up in front of his eyes. You killed the special boss of the Lost Holy Land, the soul of the god of war. Get the god of war soul x1. Get the holy sword of war x1, holy weapon. Obtain the inheritance of the memory of the god of war. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 53. Lu Shu thought. Immediately check the attributes of several items obtained. God of War Soul. Type, gain consumable. Function, gain the power of the God of War that lasts for 10 minutes. Power of the God of War. Attributes, attack power add 610, speed add 430, defense add 310. Skills, Holy Sword Judgment, Holy Sword Guardian, Holy Sword Sweep. Description, the power of the God of War allows you to temporarily possess the power of the God of War, and it can lead you destroy the devil. This thing can play a certain boosting role when I deal with the boss of Castlevania. Lu Shu's eyes moved slightly. Using Soul of the God of War is equivalent to superimposing a God of War power buff on yourself. Of course, this kind of item can only be used once. You must choose the most critical moment to use it, otherwise it will be wasted. Now, the second item. Lu Shu moved his gaze to the War Sacred Sword. War Holy Sword. Category, Weapon. Grade, Holy Weapon, exclusive for demons. Attributes, exclusive for demons. Attack power add 1100, attack speed add 610, soul restraint add 110, critical hit rate add 50%, durability 99 plus. Skill, Holy Sword Judgment. Description, this holy weapon has endless power. Of course, in order to prevent the holy sword from destroying the peace of mankind, the angel stipulated that the sword can only be used against demons. Is it exclusive to demons? But this attribute is too explosive. It's a pretty good weapon. Lu Shu nodded. The attributes of the holy weapon are quite high. In the setting of the Divine Tree game, it is a weapon blessed by angels. Of course, its only drawback is that it can only be used against demons. However, once used, if this weapon is used to deal with demons, the effect will be explosive. Finally, Lu Shu set his sights on inheritance of the God of War's memory. A prompt popped up in front of him. Do you accept the inheritance of the memory of the God of War? Yes. The next second, a picture suddenly appeared in Lu Shu's mind, passing by in front of his eyes like a fleeting horse. This memory records some fragments of the God of War's life in the Holy City, including various buildings in the Holy City. Temple Lookout Library. Inn. The cursed demon king of Castlevania is currently located in the temple. The observatory is a very special area. As long as you come here, through a special mirror, you can penetrate the grey fog and see the entire Castlevania. To put it simply, this is a special place in Castlevania. Standing there, you can get an infinite view. If I arrive at the observation deck, I can clearly see all the current conditions in Castlevania. Lu Shu's eyes lit up instantly. In addition, in the memory inheritance, there is also the memory of the battle between the God of War and the Demon King. In the picture, the cursed Demon King can use a wide range of weakening and curses. Although the Holy Sword can restrain the cursed Demon King, beside the Demon King, there are 4 major Demon Lord Protectors. The Demon Lord Protector is made of stone statues, and its strength is second only to the cursed Demon King. Its function is to share the purification damage of the Holy Sword. Since the Demon Lord Protector is not the body of the devil, but it is a special life form made of the strongest magic stone, so the Holy Sword has no restraint effect on it. The God of War lost because the Demon Lord Protector shared the damage of the Holy Sword, and could not resist the curse of the cursed Demon King. Therefore, defeated. We have to find a way to deal with these demon guardians. From the memory inheritance of the God of War, Lu Shu immediately learned the key to clearing this dungeon. The Demon Lord Protector can share the damage of the Holy Sword. As long as these Demon Lords protect the cursed Demon King, it is equivalent to having a Holy Sword immune. Purification type attacks cannot cause effective damage to it. However, how to distract the Demon Guardian is the next problem that needs to be solved. Let's head to the observation deck first. Lu Shu pondered for a moment, then led the mighty Pikachu troops away from the ruins of the lost Holy Land. After the previous exploration and sweep, there was no need for Pikachu to form an exploration formation. The western demonic cow was basically cleaned up. Lu Shu only spent half a day to return to the main city of Castlevania. He used Night Hide. Pikachu gathered around Lu Shu and gained the state of stealth. As long as you bypass Demon Castle and Main Palace, you can avoid the Lord-level monsters in Castlevania and reach the observation deck. Lu Shu knew the general situation of the entire Castlevania from the memory of the God of War. When it comes to the Abyss-level dungeon, the bosses here generally have the skill of hostile perception. If they get close, they may be in danger of being discovered. There are too many monsters in Castlevania. Capture the thief first. Capture the king first. As long as you kill the cursed demon king, many of the demon soldiers and generals here will disappear completely. Tip: 80 meters ahead, a demon guard appears. Tip: 80 meters ahead, a demon general guard appears. Tip: 80 meters ahead, a demon general appears. Go up from the passage on the side of Castlevania's main city. With the memory inheritance of the God of War, Lu Shu avoided all dangers with ease. Coupled with the Marauder's map and the Night Hide skill, I didn't encounter any risks along the way. Of course, there may also be lucky improved attributes in it. After half a day, Lu Shu arrived at the observation tower of Castlevania. There is basically no trace of demons in this place. Relics belonging to the former holy city. It's relatively safe here. Lu Shu glanced around. What was strange was that there were basically no demons guarding the observation tower. When he sensed it, he found that using the observation tower's mirror requires some mental energy. Maybe it's because the demon race has no spiritual power. They are just a group of species born in chaotic order. Therefore, it does not yet have the thinking ability and wisdom of humans. Since there are no enemies near the observation tower, Lu Shu drew a teleportation array here. At this moment, a voice came from Lu Shu's ear. Ding! Your sparkling fruit tree has reached the production cycle. Sparkling fruit add 100. Sacred Tree Island. Lu Shu's eyes suddenly lit up. Coming. It's finally time to mature. It's time to turn my UMI into a shining UMI. Soon. The teleportation array near the Sacred Tree Island lit up with a light. After such a long period of exploration, the large army in the Grey World can come back for supplies. Little ones, come and eat. Lu Shu followed a little later, and white lights appeared in front of him. Then, the extremely delicious jam steak appeared in front of Pikachu and Yumi. These little cuties smelled the fragrance, and their eyes suddenly widened. Bah! Bah! 3 times 5 divided by 2. Almost in the blink of an eye, all the steaks on the plate were eaten. Several UMI and Pikachu came to Lu Shu, acting cute in all kinds of ways, with twinkling eyes. Little Xing Xing looked dissatisfied. She was tugging on Lu Shu's little sleeve. The expression on her face was hinting. Still want it? Lu Shu smiled and said, it's really edible. But he didn't mind it either. After all, he had killed thousands of Western demonic cows and had more food than he could eat. These little guys have worked so hard, so of course they should be rewarded. UMI, go eat that fruit. Lu Shu pointed to the sparkling fruit tree and said. 100 Yumi blinked and walked to the side of the sparkling fruit tree. They looked at the fruits on the tree and suddenly became happy. They like this kind of fruit very much. Pikachu is next to it. They looked a little jealous. Lu Shu touched their heads. You have already eaten this fruit, you cannot eat it again. When there are good fruits next time, I will give them to you to eat. When Pikachu heard Lu Shu's words, he immediately nodded obediently. In just a moment, 100 UMI had already eaten the shining fruit. At this moment, UMI's body glowed with flashes of golden light. It seemed as if she had transformed. It was like a shooting star, very dazzling. Lu Shu opened the pet panel. UMI. Type, Magic Cat. Powers, hitting and blocking, fishing missile, UMI possession, high energy, final chapter of the grimoire, shining fruit. Physical, D. Speed, C. Spirit, A. Comprehensive potential, S. There are not many changes to other basic attributes. However, after eating the sparkling fruit, UMI's overall potential has reached S level. Lu Shu's eyes suddenly lit up. This shows that the compatibility between UMI and the shining fruit is indeed a good match. Suddenly, UMI in the distance turned into a stream of light and immediately flew to Pikachu. He was eating steak. Pikachu jumped up instantly, and was startled by Yumi. His little eyes were flashing with confusion. When did this guy become so fast? Yumi came out of Pikachu's body with a smile, with a playful and joking expression on his face. He felt quite happy and satisfied that he had succeeded in teasing him this time. This scene made Lu Shu's eyes light up. Good guy. Yumi's speed has become so fast. Now Yumi, even if she comes out of Pikachu's body, her single body combat ability is very good. Lu Shu immediately realized that after Yumi gained the ability of the shining fruit, she might be able to unlock new ways of fighting. After eating and drinking enough, she rested for a while, and regained all her mental power. Pikachu and Yumi set off again. At this time, Lu Shu also separated into two clones and headed to the Grey World together. He sent the second clone there for other purposes. The light curtain of the teleportation array descended. Soon, the large force exploring the Grey World reappeared near the observation tower. At this time, one of Lu Shu's clones stayed at the observation deck, watching the situation nearby. Because Lu Shu has the power of resonance, whether it is a clone or his own pet, he can share his vision. Therefore, just leave one clone at the observation tower. It's like lighting up the entire Castlevania map. One of Lu Shu's clones walked to the mirror. Communicate your spiritual power into the mirror. Finally, the whole picture of Castlevania was displayed in front of Lu Shu. Main Hall. The huge body of the cursed Demon King is almost as high as the magnificent palace, and the aura of curse is exuding from all over his body. And not far away is the Devil's Castle. The 4 demon guardians stand in every corner of the castle, paying attention to the surrounding situation at all times. Almost all demon guardians have skills similar to calling generals. Simply put, as long as you offend a demon protector, you will basically be hunted down by the entire Castlevania. The same goes for going to kill the cursed Demon King, except for boss and lord monsters. Various numbers of demon soldiers and generals are stationed in various corners of Castlevania. The total number of these magic soldiers is probably between 20,000 and 30,000. Although their individual combat effectiveness is not very strong, gathering such a terrifying number can consume the intruder's mental energy alive. Generally speaking, dungeons have specific strategy routes. Either it is a top-level dungeon team, specially forming an elite group to attack the dungeon. It's really difficult to conquer this dungeon with one person's strength alone. Lu Shu frowned slightly and fell into thinking. At this time, his eyes moved slightly. Castlevania, a remote northwest corner. Several figures suddenly transformed into the night and came from a corner to kill. It's other sacred tree masters. The nearby demon soldiers and demon generals were immediately killed by the black mist. It can be seen from the techniques that these sacred tree masters are very strong, and they appear to be well prepared. Lu Shu's eyes narrowed slightly. The aura of the hidden figure made him feel familiar. Open the Marauders map and take a look. Sure enough, there was someone who teamed up with Johnny last time. The corners of Lu Shu's lips raised slightly. He clearly saw someone coming, but the Marauders map could not show the other person's name. It meant that this person was the Crow and Grey Crane who teamed up with Johnny last time, although he didn't know who it was. But it must be one of them. In this way, the team that came to Castlevania is definitely the team of the Dark Knight Alliance. Lucio is thinking about how to deal with the other demon guardians without alarming the entire Castlevania. After all, the Demon Lord Protector's attributes are also very high, as well as hostility perception. It is basically impossible to kill him directly before calling the Demon General, and the arrival of the Dark Knight Alliance and others made Lucio's mind, a bold idea suddenly emerged. Do you want to consume Primary Soul X1 to disguise yourself? Yes. The next second, another clone of Lucio turned into the form of a Demon General Guard and moved in the direction of Demon Castle. Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 54. Castlevania. In Rakshas's hand, a black shadow was summoned. The next second, a monster with an extremely dark body turned into a shadow and quietly came to several nearby demon soldiers, sealing their throats and killing them instantly. Rakshasa looked at the demon soldiers who fell at his feet, with a trace of disdain in his eyes. It seems that this abyss-level copy is not too difficult. The first one on the list was able to get 2 first kills, maybe just because he walked faster than us. If you follow me, maybe you can also get the first kill achievement. Yes, you are right. A few people next to him quickly flattered him. Rakshasa showed a confident smile. With stealth skills, you won't be discovered by these monsters. Next, just go straight over and kill the boss and that's it. You follow me and find the location of the boss. Rakshasa is very confident. He feels that if his team finds the location of the boss, they can go there together and kill him instantly. Any abyss-level copy is just a cloud. Rakshasa is preparing to move towards the main palace, walking in the direction. Suddenly, an angry shout from a demon general came from behind. If you find an intruder, catch them. As soon as he finished speaking, what followed was the footsteps of thousands of demon soldiers. At this moment, it seemed as if the earth was shaking. What happened? The faces of this group of people instantly turned pale. How did the magic soldiers discover these people? Don't they have the skill of hiding? Rakshasa suddenly turned his head, glared at the man next to him hidden in the night, and shouted angrily, "Huey, didn't you use the concealment skill?" Huey said with a grieved face, "How is that possible? I must have released the concealment. So where did these magic soldiers come from? How could I know? Grass. Run, or we'll die here." The words just fell. In the blink of an eye, thousands of demon soldiers and demon generals have been killed in front of this group of people. Among them, one person was pulled behind. "Wait for me," the man shouted. As a result, Rakshasa ignored the other party at all, summoned a black shadow, and then flew very fast with the help of the black shadow, and walked away without looking back. The other teams just looked back with indifferent eyes. He glanced at his accomplice. The screams behind him lasted for just a moment and then stopped abruptly. Mob. Not far away, a demon general commander suddenly shook his head. That's right. This demon general is none other than Lucio, who used camouflage skills to disguise himself. The demon general commander can order the demon soldiers, and he will invade Rakshasa and others. The information was announced to other demon soldiers and generals. Soon, Rakshasa and others were chased by a group of demon soldiers. According to Lucio's calculations, judging from the direction in which this group of demon soldiers surrounded them, if Rakshasa and others, if people want to escape, they must enter the demon castle. At that time, this group of people can attract the firepower of the Demon Lord Protector for themselves. Unexpectedly, from the side of the demon castle, another person suddenly burst out. A team was formed. Rakshasa and others were surrounded. Form a defensive formation quickly. It's too late, Why are there so many demon generals here? You useless things, what's the point of having you here? The team was filled with voices reprimanding each other. Suddenly, the team had a conflict, and the cooperation in combat instantly collapsed. Lu Shu watched from a distance and couldn't help being speechless. He thought they couldn't defeat so many demon generals. At least they can escape. But now it seems that they still overestimated this group of people. Although Lu Shu will kill the sacred tree masters of the Dark Knight Alliance sooner or later, it is not now. They cannot die yet and need to bear the burden to attract them. The great mission of Demon Lord Protector Firepower. Pikachu, go help them. Lu Shu said helplessly. At the moment, there is nothing we can do except sending Pikachu to help them temporarily solve the crisis. Pikachu's face was full of reluctance, and his eyes looking at Rakshasa and others were full of disgust. But there was no way. The tactics required them to stay alive to attract the firepower of the Demon Lord Protector. Pikachu turned into a bolt of lightning and rushed towards the demon soldiers. The next second, the battlefield was suddenly covered in lightning. Rakshasa and others are surrounded by demonic soldiers, and they can no longer hold on. Although I don't know what skill Rakshasa awakened, which can summon a black shadow with good combat power. However, under the siege of tens of thousands of demon soldiers, Rakshasa's shadow was quickly destroyed by the demon soldiers and generals. The blade shattered. The Dark Knight Alliance team is now in a desperate situation. At this time, sizzle, sizzle. On the battlefield, a thunder dragon suddenly roared. In front of Rakshasa and the others, yellow-skinned rats wrapped with thunder and lightning were reflected. However, in the dungeon, these yellow-skinned rats are like gods of war, easily killing all the nearby demon soldiers and generals in an instant. Rakshasa suddenly opened his mouth. Yellow-skinned mouse. Others were also stunned. Are there really yellow-skinned mice? Didn't I say that this legend was made up by those idiots? I didn't expect it to be true. Damn it, the yellow-skinned rat is too fierce, right? Suddenly, Rakshasa realized something and said ecstatically. Perhaps the leader of the list, Treeman, was lucky enough to get the help of the yellow-skinned rat, and he was able to achieve the first kill of 2 dungeons. We just need to follow the yellow-skinned mouse, and maybe we can easily clear this instance. Ha 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 ha, God really helped me this time. Several other people also showed expressions of disbelief. Could it be that this time it was really their turn to be lucky and encounter a yellow-skinned mouse? Legend has it that as long as you meet Rat Guangong, you can easily obtain a copy. First kill. Does such a good thing really exist in the grey world? Zizza. Zizza. At this moment, Pikachu has electrocuted most of the demon soldiers and generals on the field. Then, Pikachu turned into yellow lightning and moved quickly towards Demon Castle. Quick! Follow these yellow-skinned rats. Their strength is really great. This time, the first kill of the dungeon is definitely ours. Rakshasa said with jealousy. The Dark Knight Alliance team hurriedly moved in the direction of Demon Castle. In the field of vision, several yellow-skinned mice were walking quickly forward. Through a few perspectives, Rakshasa the others can see that this is a deep passage. And in this passage, there seems to be something terrible being imprisoned. There seems to be a very powerful monster inside. Do we really want to go there? He couldn't help but ask. Haha, look at your fate. Rakshasa looked at Grey Crane sarcastically. There is a first kill achievement right in front of you. If you don't want it, you deserve to be ranked not even 100 in the rankings. At this moment, the door of a great hall appeared in front of him. Rakshasa rushed over without even thinking about it. This should be where the Demon King is. As long as we follow the yellow-skinned mouse, we can get the first kill of the Abyss-level dungeon. At that time, my name will appear in the system announcement. A smile appeared on the corner of Rakshasa's mouth. It was as if the reward for the first kill was already in sight. The next second, when the door of the hall was opened, everyone was stunned. The yellow-skinned mouse disappeared. In the main hall, there was only a huge stone statue of the demon god, standing in the deepest part of the hall. When Rakshasa and others broke into the main hall, the stone statue of the demon god suddenly opened its eyes. Demon Guardian Dharma. Category: Demon, Stone Statue. Danger Coefficient, A+. Perception Range, 100 meters. Power, 500. Speed, 450. Defense, 520. Skills: Indestructible, Demon Guardian Array, Damage Sharing, Hostility Perception, 4 Origins. Intruder, Die. The Demon Protector suddenly opened his eyes. At that moment, the hearts of Rakshasa and others went cold. Quickly release your skills and kill this monster instantly. It can summon 3 other stone statues. If the battle is delayed too late, we will all die. Rakshasa shouted angrily. The sacred tree master in the team immediately released his skills and attacked the protector demon, but it had no effect at all. Immunity to undead magic. Seeing that the attack was ineffective, Rakshasa and the others turned pale, and their hearts froze. Isn't this an elite monster in Castlevania? Why is it so strong? Damn it, the attributes of that monster are basically the boss of the difficult level dungeon. What about the yellow-skinned mouse? Where did all these yellow-skinned mice go just now? Only then did everyone realize that the yellow-skinned mouse that had just entered the hall had gone to nowhere. However, before they had time to think about what was going on, the Demon Lord Protector had already killed him. Go quickly. Rakshasa started to run away without thinking. The situation was different from just now. Demon Lord Protector and ordinary demon soldiers and demon generals are not at the same level at all. Not only is the resistance more terrifying, but the movement speed is also extraordinary. The sacred tree masters can be compared. It didn't take long, the slowest runners in the team were about to be overtaken by the demon protector. Wait for us! They shouted desperately. But the Rakshasa ignored his accomplices asking for help. Not long after, screams came from behind. Call. Fine. Those guys slowed down this monster. As long as he re-enters the hidden state, he should be able to avoid the pursuit of these monsters. Rakshasa looked at the demon guardians who were going away, and he breathed a sigh of relief. When he came to a corner, suddenly, 3 figures of the demon guardians appeared in front of him. The 4 origins are from the same origin, so that the hearts and minds of the demon lord and the protector are all connected together. If one is attacked, the other 3 will immediately come to support. And the hostile perception makes Rakshasa's stealth skill completely equivalent to a decoration. This moment, Rakshasa finally felt what an abyss-level dungeon is. It's like entering an abyss of despair, with no room for escape at all. Castlevania. Main Hall. The figures of Lushu and 100 Pikachu suddenly appeared from the night and came to the door. In fact, Pikachu did not enter the main hall of the Demon Lord Protector at all, but left quietly under the cover of Lushu's night concealment. I was originally thinking about how to introduce this group of people into the Demon Castle, but I didn't expect that Rakshasa believed in the legend of Rat Guangong and decided to follow Pikachu. That being the case, Lushu also took advantage of the trick and introduced Rakshasa to the location of the Supreme Demon Protector. As expected. With Rakshasa's IQ, he actually thought that if he could meet the Rat Guangong from the Grey World, he would be easily taken away and get the first kill of the copy. To be honest, Lushu was a little doubtful as to how this person got on the ranking list. But no matter what, after today, Rakshasa will disappear from this game forever. The Demon Protector has been lured far away. Taking advantage of this period of time, it shouldn't be a problem to kill the cursed demon. Lu Shu made some calculations and judged that the chance of winning this battle is very high. In addition to the sacred sword of war and soul of the god of war obtained from the ruins of the Holy Land, Yuamai swallowed the shining fruit, and her potential increased to S level. Is also the key reason why Lu Shu dared to challenge this copy. After all, the shining fruit has the attribute damage of the holy light system, and it still has a certain restraint effect on demons. After the demon lord protector was diverted, all the holy light on his body and purification damage will have a considerable attack bonus effect on the cursed demon king. Boom! The door of the main hall was slowly pushed open by Lu Shu. Tip: 250 meters ahead, the final boss of Castlevania, the cursed demon king appears. After Lu Shu's clone arrived at the observation tower, his field of vision was no longer as simple as 80 meters. Therefore, you can get hints about the cursed demon king in advance. The moment Lu Shu pushed open the door of the hall, the cursed devil suddenly opened his eyes. Stupid intruder! How dare you break into my fortress? This is your own way to death. The next second, the boss panel popped up in front of Lu Shu. Cursed Demon King. Category: Demon. Danger coefficient: S. Perception range: 200 meters. Power: 910. Speed: 630. Defense: 810. Skills: Curse of Decay, Decay, Spiritual Invasion, Blood of the Demon King, Fury of the Demon King, Demon Lord Guard Array, Blood Demon. Description: Everyone thinks that this demon is a demon that comes from the abyss and brings disaster to the earth. People are afraid of its power and existence, thinking that it is invincible. However, no one knows that in the real abyss, the so-called devil is just a despicable blood species that was expelled. The moment the panel pops up, Yuamai, possess Pikachu. Pikachu, quickly launch a siege formation. Use shock fruit and sparkling fruit to suppress. As soon as he finished speaking, a sword with holy light appeared in Lu Shu's hand. The holy sword of war. The next second, a sword light slashed towards the cursed demon king. Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author: Immortal. Chapter 55. The cursed demon king instantly felt a severe crisis. In front of it, a decaying black mist was immediately summoned. The cursed demon king has launched the curse of decay. The cursed demon unleashed decay. The black mist spreads around the cursed demon king. Facing such a powerful attack, without the nearby demon lord protector to protect him, the cursed demon king could only be forced to activate his skills to offset the fatal holy light damage. The nearby thunder, flash, and all the sword light withered in this corrupt atmosphere. However, this aura cannot be maintained for long. The next second, Lu Shu took out the purifying holy water and combined with the power of the holy sword, attacked the black mist together. Under this fierce bombardment, the grey mist soon became unable to hold on. How come you have that holy sword? The cursed demon king said in horror. Lu Shu was naturally too lazy to pay attention to the opponent and continued to strike with his sword. Nearby, hundreds of Yumai used the power of the shining fruit to continuously cause a lot of damage to the cursed demon king. The cursed demon king was defeated continuously and couldn't bear it. He roared angrily. The cursed demon has launched a spiritual invasion. However, how could a mental attack have any impact on Pikachu and Lu Shu? With Yuamai's blessing, Pikachu's spirit has reached S level. Not to mention that Lu Shu was still playing the same trick as cultivating immortals. The aura had the effect of protecting the mind, which was of no use to him. As flashes of light continued to light up in the hall, the cursed demon king was continuously hit by critical hits from the holy light system, and his condition declined rapidly. You have completely offended me. As soon as he finished speaking, a crack suddenly appeared on the body of the cursed demon king. Black demon blood seeped out from his skin. The next second, The aura of the cursed Demon King rose instantly. The cursed Demon King activated the Demon King's blood and gained physical resistance, magic resistance, and holy light resistance, temporarily. The cursed Demon King launched the Demon King's fury, doubling all basic attributes. The cursed Demon King activated the Blood Demon effect and gained 100% blood sucking. When the cursed Demon King released all his power, the aura on his body climbed to the extreme, becoming bloodthirsty and terrifying. It seems like everything will be torn apart at any time. If the weak Divine Tree Master stood in front of the cursed Demon King, he would probably be frightened out of his soul, and he would almost forget the consciousness of fighting. Lu Shu was very calm, however. From the memory inherited by the God of War, he had long known that the cursed Demon King had kept these skills and trump cards unused. However, what I didn't expect was that the cursed Demon King actually chose to break the jar and activate all the buffs. This is the rhythm of a fight to the death. UMI, release the final chapter of the grimoire. Pikachu, use the shock fruit. Suppress the cursed devil with all your strength, hold on for 10 minutes, don't let this guy have any room to move. Lu Shu said coldly. At this time, the cursed Demon King's attributes are so high that it explodes. He must be suppressed until he cannot move, and the battle can only continue after the buff on the opponent disappears. If it were other sacred tree masters, they could only he ran around the hall desperately, praying that he would not kill the cursed Demon King. If others saw that Lu Shu was actually attacking with attack, he wanted to directly suppress the cursed Demon King when his momentum was at its strongest. I was afraid that he would be able to. I was so shocked that I doubted my life. The next second, the final chapter of Uami's grimoire erupted with wave-like traces of magic, slapping towards the cursed Demon King like a tide. And the shock fruit crazily squeezed the cursed Demon King's body. The opponent couldn't even find any space to move. The cursed Demon King was going crazy. This was when he was at his strongest, but to be suppressed and beaten like this? Isn't it too embarrassing? With the attributes increased by various buffs, the resistance of the cursed Demon King at this time is extremely terrifying, and these attacks are basically unable to damage its fur. However, the buff time is limited. Validity period, 10 minutes. As long as the buff effect of the buff ends, the cursed Demon King will enter. At this time it's time to weaken. At that time, it's time for Lu Shu to fight back. 10 minutes passed quietly. The power of the cursed Demon King also becomes weaker and weaker as the buff time gradually passes. Finally, a prompt popped up in front of me. The buff time of the cursed Demon King has expired and he has entered a weak state. It's now. It's time to use that trump card. Lu Shu immediately took out the God of War Soul. Are you sure to use God of War Soul? Yes. The next second, a ray of holy light landed on Lu Shu's head. At that moment, his figure was like the God of War descending to earth. The holy sword of war in his hand seemed to trigger some kind of induction, trembling and making a buzzing sound. You have been blessed with the power of the God of War. Attributes: attack power add 610, speed add 430, defense add 310. Skills: Holy Sword Judgment, Holy Sword Guardian, Holy Sword Sweep. In the blink of an eye, Lu Shu's figure has already arrived in front of the cursed Demon King. That speed is so fast that it is difficult for people to react. The monks in the Xiantian realm have good combat power, and they have also awakened a profession that focuses on mobility, Shadow Assassin. The heaven-defying attributes increased with the power of the God of War, are unimaginable. Lu Shu's attributes are so high now. He raised the holy sword of war and slashed at the cursed Demon King. Suddenly, a ray of holy light stretched across the sky, drowning the entire body of the cursed Demon King. Several sword rays fell in succession. The aura on the cursed Demon King continued to dissipate. At this time, the boss entered a weak state, and the effect of any damage would be doubled. Using the God of War Soul, he could be killed instantly. Boom. Suddenly, there was a cracking sound from the main hall door behind him. At this time, the 4 demon guardians finally returned to the cursed demon king. Pity. It's too late. A prompt popped up in front of Lu Shu. You have killed the cursed devil. Get Demon Soul X1. Obtain the Demon Skill Illustrated, Curse, Elementary. Obtain the Top Skill Illustration, Minor. Obtain the Demonic Staff, Extraordinary Level, X1. Get Search Torch Add 1. Get X1 of the Cursed Devil's handwritten book. When the boss was killed, the 4 demon guardians also collapsed instantly. They were originally life forms created by the cursed demon king. Once the body of the cursed demon king dies, these created existences lose their original support and will naturally collapse. Only broken stones are left on the ground. Focus on the panel. Lu Shu's eyes were dazzled by the dazzling array of rewards. The role of the demon soul is similar to that of the god of war soul, except that it temporarily possesses the power to curse demons. The scepter torch is much stronger than the scepter torch. Once used, the field of vision can be increased by 50 meters. In this way, my field of vision reaches 130 meters. The demon staff is also a weapon in the demon set, but it requires the special profession of mage to use it. For the time being, it has no effect for me, so I will keep it for now. Next, Lu Shu set his sights on 2 skill illustrations. Do you want to learn the top skill illustrated book, Minor? Yes. Do you want to learn the demonic skills illustrated book, Curse? Yes. Suddenly, a skills panel popped up in front of Lu Shu. Demonic Curse. Level, Elementary. Function, put the target into a weak state, reducing each attribute by 10%. It is quite effective in dealing with the Divine Tree Master. Lu Shu made a simple evaluation. If you encounter a Sacred Tree Master in the wild and have an encounter, giving the opponent a weak point may catch him off guard. However, it is not that effective against most demons. After all, it is just a basic skill, but if it can be upgraded to a high level, it will be very useful. Finally, open the Cursed Devil's handwriting. The messy handwriting on it briefly describes the life of the Cursed Devil. By reading the handwriting, Lu Shu's eyes moved slightly. According to the content of the handwriting, the Cursed Demon is a monster from the abyss. When it came to Castlevania, it was indeed an invincible enemy here, but in its hometown, that is, the abyss, it was a weak existence that was eliminated and expelled. What kind of advanced copy is that abyss? Lu Shu suddenly realized that the Grey World is much larger than he thought. There is also a unique civilization and history here. No one knows the origin of the Grey World. After reading the handwriting, a special reminder, not only in the sound rang in Lu Shu's ears and also popped up on the entire world public screen. Congratulations to the Sacred Tree Master Shuren for obtaining the first kill of the Abyss level boss. Reward, Devil Contract, Special Skill. Lu Shu's eyes moved and he looked at the special skill that was revealed as the first kill reward. Devil's Contract. Grade, Special. Function, sign a devil's contract to bind the soul. If anyone violates the contract, the soul will suffer eternal backlash. To put it simply, this is a contract skill. It may have some effect in the future. Special skills are useful on special occasions and will not be duplicated with ordinary skills. Lu Shu's eyes moved slightly. Successfully killed the boss of Castlevania. The monsters here have become pure. This place has also become a safe zone. However, this doesn't mean it's over. Next, Lu Shu plans to kill someone. When this prompt pops up, World Public Screen. Oh my god, Boss Lu Shu has achieved the first kill achievement again, and this time it's an Abyss level copy. Awesome, I was in a difficult level dungeon and was being chased by monsters. Boss Lushu had already cleared the difficulty level and was directly promoted to an S-level dungeon. There was nothing to say other than admiration. The first one on the list is the first one on the list. These first kills are all genuine kills. They are so powerful. I originally wanted the boss to take me, but I thought that the place I was going to was an abyss-level dungeon. This kind of place might be contaminated by the smell of mobs, and I was going to die, so I better not go there. Fear. Have I fallen to the point where I can't even lead the big guys? When the achievement reminder in front of him fell in front of Rakshasa, he was immediately petrified on the spot. That's right. Rakshasa is not dead yet. When he was about to be killed by the four guardians, Lushu just happened to push open the door of the main hall. Sensing the crisis, the cursed Demon King withdrew all the four demon guardians, leaving only the demon soldiers and demon generals to hunt down Rakshasa. With Rakshasa's strength, surrounded by demonic soldiers and generals, he could barely survive. Just when he was dying. Congratulations to the Sacred Tree Master Shuren for obtaining the first kill of the Abyss-level boss. When this notice appeared in front of him, and all the demon soldiers and generals around him fell down and turned into a black mist. This Abyss-level copy has been cleared. Saved. What happened? Rakshasa muttered to himself. Until now, he was in a state of confusion. He was inexplicably being chased by a group of monsters. He was inexplicably saved again. He still doesn't understand what happened around him. However, right here. At that moment, a figure suddenly walked out of the grey mist. No, it was not just one person. There were also 100 familiar yellow-skinned mice. And, behind the yellow-skinned mice, there seemed to be a cat hanging. The moment he saw that man, saw the yellow-skinned mouse, and then recalled the legend about the yellow-skinned mouse when Lushu achieved his first kill. At this time, no matter how stupid Rakshasa was, he had already guessed the truth. Are you a tree lifter? Your ability is to control these yellow-skinned mice. Did you bring me here? Rakshasa wanted to say something else. Lushu frowned slightly. You know too much. Execute the devil's curse. Rakshasa's body was suddenly surrounded by a cloud of cursed black energy. After the battle just now, Rakshasa's fighting power was already running out, and he was already exhausted. Add the curse the weak effect triggered. When Rakshasa wanted the apostle to escape, he found that his body was ridiculously slow. The next second, a sword light flashed from Rakshasa's throat. Rakshasa never expected that the opponent's attack would be so quick. However, even if he could react, with Lushu's current strength, he couldn't block a move at all. Rakshasa slowly fell to the ground, his face full of resentment and unwillingness, and his dead fish eyes stared at the sky. It seemed that he still couldn't believe that he would die like this. When he died, he couldn't imagine that the gap between his own strength and that of others would be so big. It was so big that he couldn't even resist a single move and was killed instantly. It seems like I want you to come here. Lu. Shu sneered. Rakshasa is not a good person. Since the Dark Knight Alliance has provoked him, he does not need to be polite to any member of this organization. At this moment, Lushu popped up in front of him. Hint. You killed the tree master Rakshasa. Obtain the undead magic tree. Divine tree add 1. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 56. The next second. In front of Lushu, a new sacred tree panel appeared. Divine tree, undead magic. Stage, primary spiritual tree. Sunlight, 130/day, 1.3x100. Aura, 120/day, 1.2x100. Product, undead magic fruit. Production cycle, 2 days, 1100/550. Growth points, 2200, 7.4 x 100 equal 1100/day. Next stage, intermediate spiritual tree, 5000 growth points. Necromancer is also a type of mage profession. This way, my demonic staff can be used. Moreover, the necromancer can also drive the undead, which is very useful in the dungeons of the Grey World. No wonder Rakshas's brain can also clear difficult level dungeons. The necromancer can control the undead, which gives him a lot of convenience. If you can't control such a powerful profession, you'd better let me do it. Lushu smiled softly. In fact, Rakshas's death was also within his calculations. Through the observation tower, Lushu saw from the prompts that Rakshasa awakened a professional fruit-type ability. Although the guy's IQ is not very high, but the awakened professional fruit talent is really good. He is actually an S-level necromancer. Lushu happened to have an extra demon staff, which requires the profession of mage to use. Here among the few people, Rakshasa's sacred tree was of some value to him. Therefore, Lushu kept his life for a while until he killed Rakshasa with his own hands. He killed Rakshasa. Lushu did not forget it either. Search for corpses. As a leader in the rankings and a member of the Dark Knight Alliance, this guy has a lot of treasures. A platinum level soul wand. There is also a silver level soul suit. And a map. The Revenant staff and Revenant suit are of no use to Lushu now. They can be directly uploaded to the trading interface for auction. At this stage of development, most of the Divine Tree Masters produce many fruits and exchange them to become stronger. Entering the Grey World to explore the dungeon and upgrading it can be regarded as making some money. At this stage, the equipment becomes particularly easy to sell. The whole people have developed a craze for exploring the Grey World. Trading interface. Seller, Lushuran. Products, Revenant 6-piece set, Silver level, Revenant staff, Platinum level. Conditions, exchange for a higher level superpower fruit. Hang all the equipment dropped from Rakshasa to the trading interface. Next. Lushu set his sights on the map. Do you want to light up the map? Yes. The next second. On the Grey World map, the grey fog located 10 coordinate points in the distance suddenly revealed its true face. Revenant Town. Coordinates, 47, 49. Danger Factor, B. Boss, Revenant Kate, difficult level. Items, intermediate skill illustration, search torch, Revenant suit, accessories. Abyss of Dead Souls. Coordinates, 53, 55. Danger Factor, S. Boss, Nightmare Souls, Corrupt Souls, Undead Souls, Abyss level. Items, Evil Souls, Book of Sages, Soul Skills Illustrated, Top Skills Illustrated, Scepter Torch, Holy Grail. From this map, Lushu quickly determined that Rakshasa arrived here after conquering the town of Dead Souls. However, the span of this map is a bit large. In addition to the town of the dead with coordinates, 47, 49, there is also the Abyss of the Dead 10 coordinates away. It should be a map related to the dead souls. Lushu guessed. The maps of the Grey World are not completely regular. Some maps are relatively incomplete, and this phenomenon of large spans will occur. Abyss level dead soul copy. Lushu's heart moved slightly. It can be seen from this map that the rewards in the Abyss of the Dead are quite generous. And, after awakening the profession of the necromancer, Lushu can now control the undead. If he can clear the dungeon, he can control the Abyss level undead. Boss, what will it be like? The location of 10 coordinates is a little far away. Lushu frowned slightly. He was still in the Castlevania with coordinates, 43, 41. To go to the Abyss of Souls, you need to go through a lot of distance. Take out the destiny pointer. The nearest abyss-level dungeon location nearby. Lu Shu thought. The next second, the pointer trembled slightly. The direction it pointed was actually the abyss of dead souls with coordinates, 53, 55. Suddenly, a message broadcast by the system echoed in Lu Shu's ears. Warn. The Grey Fog is about to invade your Sacred Tree Island in 7 days. All Sacred Tree Masters are requested to pay attention to the time spent exploring the Grey World and return to the Sacred Tree Island before the Grey World invades, otherwise they will face the risk of death. Countdown, 7 days. When this prompt sounds, all the Sacred Tree Masters exploded out of their diving state. The chat box is extremely lively. World public screen. Hey, why were you prompted so quickly about the invasion of the Grey World? It seems that we were only given 3 days last time, right? Normally, our overall strength has become stronger. It will take 2 or 3 days for you to explore a difficult level dungeon, but for an abyss level dungeon, you may not be able to complete it in 7 or 8 days. Indeed, if he were invaded while he was still exploring the Grey World copy, wouldn't that person be in trouble? So, it turns out that it was Mr. Lushu who cleared the abyss level dungeon and got the Grey World prompt so quickly. What else? Mr. Lushu just cleared the abyss level dungeon, why did the prompt sound immediately after? The rules of the Grey Realm will depend on everyone's status. If someone reaches the level of an abyss level copy, then the Grey Realm will determine our overall progress in advance, so the prompt time will be longer. Maybe the progress of the difficult level dungeon was originally notified 5 days ago, but Boss Lusha cleared the abyss level dungeon, so the progress was notified 7 days in advance. Damn it, is there such an operation? The tree rolling boss is awesome. YYDS. This is too powerful. One person has improved the progress of 1 billion of our Sacred Tree Masters in the Grey World. With the 7-day reminder, we can better judge how to design the strategy copy plan and calculate the progress. This can greatly reduce our planning error rate. Oh my god, this wave of Tree Masters has simply benefited a billion Divine Tree Masters. Many Sacred Tree Masters, through some small details, immediately judged the relationship between Lu Shu's first kill of the Abyss level dungeon achievement and the appearance of the Grey World invasion prompt. There is always a group of people who are willing to study the rules of the Grey World to find ways to survive and solve more problems. Since the first kill achievement is counted in the system prompts, maybe there is a progress in the Grey World that no one can see in the hidden settings. This progress will not necessarily be based on average strength, but may also depend on the person at the front. To put it simply, Lu Shu raised everyone's average. At this time, world public screen. Suddenly someone discovered Lu Shu's new product. Lusha Boss has listed items on the trading interface again. Damn it! I must grab these 100 pieces of delicious food today. Hey, wait a minute, it seems that what Mr. Lushu is putting on the shelves this time is not food, but equipment. Everyone took a look. It turned out that, the products Lu Shu put on the shelves were a platinum level weapon and a 6-piece set of silver level revenants. Equipment of this level is worth a lot in today's trading market. The requirement is also a high-level superpower fruit. This made many Sacred Tree Masters give up their thoughts. Sorry, I don't think I'm worthy of redeeming a platinum level weapon plus suit. What level of development have Lusha bosses reached now? They sell platinum equipment. Isn't this too far ahead of others? Horrible. I am still using silver level weapons now. People don't want silver suits anymore. Platinum level weapons are sold as soon as they are offered. I really can't help but admire them. Hey, this platinum level equipment turns out to be the Revenant staff. Upstairs, what happened to the Wraith staff? I remember that the set of equipment seemed to be the equipment of Rax Hassa. His profession was a necromancer. The Revenant suit and the Revenant staff were his standard equipment. Does this mean that the boss of Lushu actually killed Rakshasa and then took this equipment to the trading interface to exchange for fruits? Don't tell me, this seems really possible. Isn't Rakshasa the leader in the rankings? He seems to be a member of the Dark Knight Alliance, and he will kill the tree-playing boss just as he says. Who knows? Maybe this mad dog bit Mr. Lushu for no reason. Anyway, I think there is something wrong with this man's brain. This is really happening. Our team just passed by like this, but after encountering Rakshasa, these lunatics attacked us without saying a word, as if they wanted to kill us. Fortunately, we ran fast enough and escaped these lunatics. The pursuit. Holy shit. Are the people in this organization sick? I heard that they were specially organized to hunt down sacred tree masters, just to get other people's sacred trees. They also said that they only wanted high-quality sacred trees, not inferior ones. This kind of organization is really created by the devil, please let them die. Good job, Mr. Lushu. Even if the rules of the Divine Tree game are cruel, I hope they die as soon as possible for this cancer. Dark Island. It was pitch black and no sunlight could be seen. And yes, eyes opened slightly. He looked at the chat public screen and immediately tried to send a message to Rakshasa. The response I got was just a cold reminder. The sacred tree master Rakshasa is dead. Failed to send. And yes, eyes suddenly became cold. This tree lifting man actually killed Rakshasa. Is the gap that big? And yes, expression was gloomy and uncertain. In his eyes, although Rakshasa's brain did have some problems, there were Hueyi and others around him, and his stealth skills were also full. In addition, he had the professional ability to control the undead. How could he? You should have some fighting ability, but you can't run away if you can't defeat him. Moreover, in the mission he issued at the beginning, he did not ask Rakshasa to actually kill Lushu. He just asked him to explore the intelligence and see what kind of skills the other party had. Such a terrifying enemy. Of course, and yet chose to take action himself. Result. Rakshasa died in the Castlevania copy. All the equipment on his body was put on the trading interface for sale. For a moment, Anya felt extremely irritated. Rakshasa is a general of the Dark Knight Alliance, and his strength is pretty good. To die in the hands of others like this was like a slap in the face of his Dark Knight. What's more, this matter was also revealed by other people on the world public screen, which even embarrassed the Dark Knight Alliance. What the Dark Knight Alliance needs to develop is a high-quality talent strategy, and it does not want some newbies, rookies, and sluggish players. However, masters generally have their own arrogance. Seeing that the Dark Knight Alliance is so weak, who would still want to join? If it goes on for a long time, it will be a huge blow to the development of the Dark Knight Alliance. Why would you really mess with this brainless thing? Anya felt extremely irritated. Watching the constantly scrolling world public screen. Above, a certain sacred tree master with the ID Lu Feng was laughing wildly. It makes the Dark Knight even more annoying. Lu Feng, ha 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 ha, Rakshasa is dead. I didn't expect him to be here today. Lu Feng, alas, this guy only had this piece of platinum equipment. He treated it like a treasure. But in the end, he was killed and fell into the hands of others. Lu Feng, don't grab it from me. Rakshasa had planned to lose this piece of platinum equipment to me in a bet. After what happened above, many sacred tree masters have lost a lot of favorability towards the Dark Knight Alliance. And after Rakshasa died, many sacred tree masters exposed various activities of the Dark Knight Alliance, causing everyone to despise them. At this time, Lu Feng took the opportunity to promote Muyu Pavilion on the world public screen. Lu Feng, brothers, if you are interested, you can come and consult our Muyu Pavilion. Lu Feng, our Muyu Pavilion upholds the principles of equality, mutual help and love, sharing information about the grey world, distributing guild benefits, forming teams to pass dungeons, and giving mentorship to newbies. Lu Feng, this is much better than that Dark Knight alliance. Although there will be a battle between the Sacred Tree Masters sooner or later, alliances still exist. Otherwise, many Divine Tree Masters would not even be able to defeat the monsters in the Grey World, let alone wait until the day they fight each other. Many people also realized that Muyuj and the Dark Knight Alliance were in a hostile relationship. And there is also a big boss behind Muyu Pavilion. Some people are doubtful, some are waiting and watching, some take the initiative to consult, and some directly choose to join, because Muyu Pavilion does not seem to have big problems for the time being, and the most important thing is that it can help you beware of these crazy people in the Dark Knight Alliance. Anyway, today is the day when the Dark Knight Alliance collapses. Sacred Tree Island. Lu Shu's body is sitting cross-legged and practicing. Obtained a new sacred tree. Beside him, there was another golden sacred tree teleportation array. Let's go and see how the new sacred tree looks like. Lu Shu stood up. At this moment, a prompt suddenly popped up in front of Lu Shu. The sacred tree master Lu Feng invites you to conduct a transaction. Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 57. Chat window. Lu Feng boss, can I use the magical fruit to trade with you? Lu Shuren, what kind of magical power? Lu Feng illusion fruit. To put it simply, this fruit can have the effect of creating illusions for others. If the mental power is high enough, it can also interfere with the boss's actions. Boss, you killed Rakshasa, you should get the profession of necromancer. This kind of mage profession usually has a mental bonus, and that guy is an S-level talent, so the bonus effect is even better. My illusion fruit is just right for you to use. Shuren, let's make a deal. Ding. You got an illusion fruit. In Lu Shu's hand, there was a dreamy colored fruit. The grade does not look that low. During the transaction with Lu Feng, several sacred tree masters also came to Lu Shu to trade. But Lu Shu refused. Lu Feng is a master of Muyu Pavilion, and his fruit grade must be higher than that of ordinary sacred tree masters. Now it seems that Lu Shu's judgment was not wrong. Swallowing illusion fruit. You have gained a new power, hallucinations. Hallucination. Level, advanced power. Function, activate mental power to create an elusive space for the enemy. This skill, if the mental power is higher than that of the opponent, can play a very good role, and can even turn the opponent into a chess piece of one's own. Even if you can't control the enemy, you can still interfere to a certain extent. If the level is high enough, you can even use illusion to kill people, causing the enemy to get lost in the illusion space you created and lose consciousness forever. Lu Shu nodded. The effect of the illusion fruit is quite practical. If Lu Shu had such an illusion skill when conquering Castlevania, he wouldn't have to go to so much trouble to find a way to introduce Rakshasa into Demon Castle. Directly use illusion to control the opponent's mind and that's it. After completing the transaction, Lu Shu teleported to the new Sacred Tree Island through the Sacred Tree teleportation array. In front of you, a scary-looking tree surrounded by dead souls, like a tree that would only be planted next to a haunted house, stands in the center of the island. Is this the undead magic tree? Lu Shu stepped forward. He used his spiritual power to communicate with the sacred tree. Suddenly, a residual spiritual power wanted to bite back at Lu Shu. The ghost lingers. Lu Shu sneered. He took out the Holy Grail in his hand. The next second, the purifying holy water immediately cleared away the residual thoughts of Rakshasa's soul left here. From then on, this sacred tree was completely connected with Lu Shu's spiritual power. At this moment, a prompt popped up in front of Lu Shu. Ding! Your shadow divine tree has grown into an intermediate spiritual tree. Divine tree, Dark Knight. Stage, intermediate spiritual tree. Sunlight, 140/day, 1.4x 100. Spiritual energy, 130/day, 1.3x 100. Product, Dark Night Fruit. Production cycle, 2 days, 1100/550. Growth points, 5500, 11.4x 100, equal 1140/day. Next stage, Advanced Spiritual Tree, 20,000 growth points. Has it grown into an intermediate spiritual tree? Lu Shu murmured. After so many days of growth, the Shadow Divine Tree also grew from a junior spiritual tree to an intermediate spiritual tree. Using the teleportation array, Lu Shu soon arrived at the island of the Shadow Divine Tree. The Shadow Divine Tree finally, I have grown a lot taller. I am no longer as short as before. 2 shadow-like fruits grow on the tree. One of the shadow fruits is smaller and was produced before the spiritual tree was upgraded. During the dungeon guide, 1 shadow fruit was produced, but it has not been swallowed yet. The other shadow fruit is a bit larger. It is a fruit produced after evolving into an intermediate spiritual tree, and is of a higher grade. Lu Shu stepped forward. Go. Eat the small fruits first, then the big ones. 3 times 5 divided by 2. Swallow 2 Dark Night Fruits. Upgrade your Shadow Assassin to Master Level 3. Upgrade your Shadow Assassin to Grand Master Level. The next second, Lu Shu's career panel was immediately updated. Occupation. Name, Shadow Assassin. Level, Grandmaster. Attributes, Attack Power add 100, Speed add 300, Dodge add 70. Skills. Shadow Movement Speed, LV2 transform into a shadow, movement speed add 70. Integrate into the night, LV2 in the dark, blend into the night, immune to 85% of physical damage, movement speed add 20. Shadow Escape, LV2 perform a teleport within a range of 200 meters. Demon Knife 1000 blades, LV7 the blade of your weapon can be split into 1000 fragments, each fragment causing 22% damage to the enemy. Night Concealment, LV2 in the night, summon the darkness to cover a 10-meter radius around you at this time, you will gain a stealth effect and cannot be sensed. Launching an attack will exit stealth. Shadow Kill, LV1 summon a shadow, gain 30% of the body's attack power and full stealth effect, and assassinate the enemy. Available skill points, 5. Basic attributes have been improved a lot. Some skills have also been strengthened. Moreover, he also gained a new skill, Shadow Kill. Lu Shu glanced at the panel and felt quite satisfied with the upgrade of the Shadow Assassin's profession to the master level this time. Shadow Kill. This is another skill similar to clones. However, the difference is that Shadow Kill can obtain complete stealth effect. To put it simply, even if the enemy has hostile perception, he cannot detect the existence of the shadow. Because the shadow has no emotions. It is just a summoned killing machine. Hostility perception is the perception of an opponent's murderous intent. But when the shadow is killing people, it can even hide its murderous intent. Moreover, even if Shadow's mission fails, the enemy will not be able to find the location of Lu Shu's body. This is a perfect assassin. The only drawback is that the attack power is a bit low. I have 5 skill points. Lu Shu thought for a moment. Shadow movement speed increases a little. The 1000 blades of the demonic sword adds 1 point. Shadow Kill adds 3 points. The reason for increasing the shadow movement speed is because Lu Shu is going to the abyss of the undead next and needs to rush to run the map. At this time, speed is time, and time is life. Come and go, speed is almost equivalent to a priceless treasure. The attributes of 1000 blades of the demonic sword have almost reached their upper limit. Just add more points as you see. Shadow Kill is a very good skill if used well. It can kill people thousands of miles away without being seen, and it can also be used to explore paths soon. The skill panel has been updated again. Shadow movement speed, LV3 transform into a shadow, movement speed add 100. Demon knife 1000 blades, LV8 your weapon blade can be split into 1000 fragments, each fragment causing 24% damage to the enemy. Shadow kill, LV4 summon a shadow, gain 45% of the body's attack power and full stealth effect, and assassinate the enemy. Next. After 2 more days of waiting, Luxu will be able to harvest the first professional fruit of the necromancer and the maturity of the fruit of life. Grey World. Luxu moved towards the direction of Abyss of the Dead. Period. He threw some useless equipment and materials into the trading interface and exchanged them for a map of the route to the Abyss of the Dead. According to the collected map information, within the movement range of these 10 coordinates, Luxu would encounter a total of 3 difficult level dungeons and 7 ordinary level dungeons. Apart from the Abyss of the Undead, there are indeed no other Abyss level copies nearby. Luxu planned to explore all the dungeons he passed along the way. As long as the scope has been explored, when the Grey World invades, one's own sacred tree island will be invaded. Luxu was too lazy to conquer these difficult level dungeons one by one, so he might as well go through them all, wait until the Grey World invades, then finish them all in one pot, and get a lot of defense points by the way. Anyway, the rewards are almost the same. The items produced by the difficult level dungeon are no longer very attractive to Luxu now. What he is more concerned about is the output of the Abyss level copy. And, is it possible to use undead magic to control several Abyss level boss? Cast shadow movement speed. Luxu's movement speed was quite fast. It originally took 7 days to go from Castlevania to Abyss of the Dead. However, Luxu's Shadow Assassin was upgraded to the Grandmaster level. The time required for this journey has changed from 7 days to 5 days. There is also more room for error and exploration, so you can see what's going on around here before the next Grey World invasion comes. En route. Luxu passed by the dungeon and saw some dungeons that produced ingredients. At that time, new recipes will be unlocked. 2 days later, Luxu opened his eyes. A strong wind appeared around him. In these 2 days, without the pressure of conquering the dungeon, Luxu could focus all his energy on training. Although his current mental strength can be used for 2 purposes, Luxu still focused all his attention on the dungeon when conquering the dungeon, so his practice was delayed for a while. While on the road these 2 days, Luxu swallowed the remaining Tianling fruit. It seemed that after being trained in battle, the breakthrough came naturally without feeling much difficulty. Boom! With a loud bang, Luxu's cultivation level has now broken through to the 5th level of Xiantian. I broke through several small realms in a row. His strength is much stronger than before. And the cultivation also faintly reached the threshold of elementary level and began to slow down. When the Tianling fruit reaches this stage, the role it can play is relatively limited. At this moment, 3 prompts popped up in front of Luxu's eyes. Ding! You got a life fruit X1. Ding! You got 3 growth fruits X3. Ding! You got a undead magic fruit X1. Coming. Luxu's eyes lit up slightly. He looked up. Unknowingly, the small sapling had now grown into a towering giant tree. The lush branches and leaves, as the breeze blew by, made a rustling sound like a rising tide sound. Among the branches and leaves, a golden fruit and 3 orange fruits grew out. They are the life fruit and the growth fruit respectively. Luxu's body jumped, spanning more than 10 feet, and landed gracefully on the top of the sacred tree. It was as light as a falling goose. He picked it with ease, and 4 ripe fruits fell into his hands. He carefully buried the fruits in the soil. With the blessing of a 100-fold increase, the 4 subspecies spiritual trees rose from the ground in an instant. Rise, breakthrough. Life fruit tree. Variety, subspecies spirit tree. Product, life fruit. Cycle, 0.6, 365/550. Production times remaining, 1. Growing fruit tree. Variety, subspecies spirit tree. Product, growing fruit. Cycle, 0.6, 365/550. Remaining production times, 2. At this moment, the remaining time for advanced fertilizers is almost over. Lushu reused all the high-grade fertilizers in the warehouse, and then went to the transaction interface to exchange for another pack of high-grade fertilizers. Not urgent. Although Lushu now has 3 sacred trees, anyway, the high-grade fertilizer lasts for 3 days. You can redeem it slowly. Then, Lushu passed through the Divine Tree teleportation array and headed to the island of the undead magic Divine Tree. A ghostly fruit grew on the sacred tree filled with the aura of dead souls. This fruit looks like the head of a dead soul, but it has no nose, no mouth, and no face. It is hard to imagine whether you will die if you eat such a fruit. Lushu took a deep breath. A true warrior always dares to face the bloody reality. I picked off the undead magic fruit, closed my eyes, and bit it, and found out. This fruit has no taste at all. It's like chewing air, how to say. As long as it's not unpalatable, it's a novel experience, right? After eating the fruit of the dead, the next second, a new professional panel appeared in front of Lushu. Occupation. Name, Necromancer. Level, Advanced. Attributes, Spirit add 30, Perception add 10, Magic add 200. Skills. Undead Perception, LV1 you can sense the breath of the undead within a range of 1000 meters. Undead Control, LV1 you can control undead whose danger coefficient is below sea level. Undead Magic, LV1 consume spiritual power and magic power to summon an undead with a B-level danger coefficient. Undead Control, Professional exclusive defeat an undead, completely control it with spiritual power, and cultivate undead monsters. Available skill points, 10. Rakshasa's Sacred Tree, which has reached the intermediate spiritual tree. If you eat one of the fruits produced, you will directly enter the class. Lushu thought for a while and quickly made a choice. Sense of the Undead adds 1 point. Undead Control adds 6 points. Add 3 points to Undead Magic. Soon, the professional skills panel was updated. Undead Perception, LV2 you can sense the breath of the undead within a range of 2000 meters. Undead Control, LV7 you can control undead whose danger coefficient is below S level. Undead Magic, LV4 consume spiritual power and magic power to summon an undead with a danger coefficient of A-. After Lushu's judgment, Undead Magic seems to be more useful, but it actually has little meaning. Now that the undead are summoned to fight for him, the improvement to the overall combat power is too small. Undead Control, on the other hand, can interfere with the actions of other undead, and even control them. If there are undead that you want to control, such as the S-level boss in the Abyss of the Undead, defeat them directly, and then use Undead Control to control them. Would direct summoning be more enjoyable? After getting the new profession of mage. Next, Lushu set his sights on the extraordinary level Devil Staff. Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 58. Demon Staff. Type, Weapon. Grade, Extraordinary. Attributes, Magic add 500, Spirit add 100, Magic Penetration add 200, Durability add 2000. Demon 8-piece set, 2/8. Set effect, Demon Restraint add 10, Demon Wisdom add 15, Demonic Buff add 10. Description, Staff forged by a demon. Besides, Lushu also has a diamond-level magic sound sacred piano. After unlocking the profession of mage, this weapon dropped from the magic sound saint can also be used. Although the grade of Devil's Holy Piano is not as high as Devil's Staff. However, After I unlocked the ability of hallucination, if I use it with the magic piano, it can increase the effect of the illusion. Musical instrument weapons are originally biased towards spiritual attack weapons. Lu Shu nodded. Unlocking the necromancer profession really has many unexpected benefits. Thus, neither the magical holy piano nor the devil's staff will be wasted. And it can also enhance the effects of illusions and powers. It can be said to do more than one thing with one stone. Ding! Your life fruit tree has reached the growth cycle. Life fruit add 100. Ding! Your growth fruit tree has reached the growth cycle, and the growth fruit add 300. After half a day of waiting, the fruit of life tree is filled with 100 golden fruits. Please place the life fruit X100 next to the sacred tree for hatching. Lu Shu took all the fruits of life to the sacred tree. A divine power hatches the fruit of life. It still takes 2.5 days of incubation, and a new pet will be born into this world. By then, Pikachu, Uami, and the entire sacred tree island will welcome new families. Next, Lu Shu set his sights on the fruits of growth. Growth fruit. Level, advanced. Function, increase the basic attributes of pets and enhance their potential. It's time for Pikachu and Uami to come back. Lu Shu thought. Growth fruits can improve the attributes of pets again. Moreover, in the past 2 days, the large forces in the Grey World have been exploring various dungeons day and night, and they are a little tired now. What's more, Lu Shu's body was promoted to the 5th level of innateness, unlocking the new profession of the necromancer. It was also time to update the strength of a wave of clones. The teleportation array came down with a light curtain. Soon, the large army of the Grey World engraved a teleportation array on the spot. Afterwards, returned to the sacred tree island. Pick up. Meow. As soon as they came back, Pikachu and Uami looked at the 100 orange fruits on the growing fruit tree with starry eyes. The fragrance seemed to have a unique attraction to these little guys. Lu. The tree smiled and said, "Go and eat, this is your reward." Pikachu and Uami immediately screamed excitedly. They all went over and each of them got one. After eating the growth fruit, the skin of these little cuties suddenly emitted bursts of fluorescence. It seemed that they were undergoing transformation. Hundreds of Pikachu and Uami seemed a little sleepy at this time, fell to the ground, and took a nap for a while. These are some reactions after transformation. It only takes a little sleep to complete the enhancement. Lu Shu, the pet panel also popped up in front of my eyes. Pikachu. Type, Pokemon. Power, 100,000 volts, shock fruit. Physical, B. Speed, A+. Mental, A+. Comprehensive potential, S+. Uami. Type, Magic Cat. Powers, hitting and blocking, fishing missile, Uami possession, high energy, final chapter of the grimoire, shining fruit. Physical, C+. Speed, B. Spirit, A+. Overall potential, S+. Pikachu has taken Tianling fruit before and has reached a bottleneck stage, and it is still unable to break through. However, anyway, with Uami's possession, it has already reached S level, and it is estimated that it will take a while to transform. Uami's basic attributes have been greatly enhanced, and her potential has reached S+, the same as Pikachu. Lu Shu nodded. There are 3 growing fruits in total. Of course, it is a pity that the production cycle only has 2 times, which can produce a total of 600 fruits. Pikachu and Uami ate a total of 200 fruits, and there are still some left. 100 growth fruits have not been taken. There are still 2 days until the next hatching of the life fruit. By the time the hatching is mature, the growth fruits have also reached the next production cycle. There is no need to keep these 100 growth fruits. By the way, give it to Golden Dragon Koi and see what kind of effect it has. Lu Shu's eyes suddenly lit up. He came to the river. The golden dragon koi seemed to sense Lu Shu's arrival and swam to the shore early to wait. This is the feeling of having good food. Eat. Lu Shu said with a smile. He fed a fruit of life to the golden dragon koi. The golden dragon koi swallowed a growth fruit and gained add 10 evolution points. The golden dragon koi swallowed a growth fruit and gained add 10 evolution points. The effect is so good. Lu Shu felt a little surprised. After these few days, the natural evolution point of the golden dragon koi has increased to 50. At this moment, after swallowing 5 growth fruits, the evolution point of the golden dragon koi has reached 100. At this moment, compared with starting from a small carp before, the golden dragon koi has reached half a meter in length. It is already a big fish. And its level is only second level. After eating 10 growth fruits in a row, the golden dragon koi actually still opened his mouth, indicating that it was not enough. Lu Shu could only smile bitterly. As expected of a mythical creature, it has a big appetite. Pikachu Anumai ate a growth fruit and fell asleep. However, the golden dragon and koi continued eating 10 growth fruits is like playing, and you still look unsatisfied. Do you want to eat all this fruit? Lu Shu asked, moved by his thoughts. The golden dragon and koi carp actually understood what they were saying and nodded. Okay, let's eat them all. Lu Shu was happy. 100 growth fruits are exactly 1000 evolution points. In this way, the golden dragon koi can evolve to the 3rd level. By then, wouldn't his lucky attribute be increased again? But after a while, 100 growth fruits have been swallowed by the golden dragon koi. The golden dragon koi has reached the evolution point. Do you want to choose to evolve? Yes. The next second, the body length of the golden dragon koi suddenly became 1 meter. It's like it expanded in the blink of an eye. Lu Shu secretly clicked his tongue. This is raising a big fish. I'm afraid it won't be long before this river won't be able to accommodate the golden dragon and koi carp. Golden dragon koi. Category, mythical creature. Level, level 3. Blessing aura, luck add 50, blessing add 80. Evolution points, 50. In addition to the luck value, blessing is also a very useful attribute. When fighting against undead souls and curses, blessing can increase the chance of immunity to curses and reduce the duration of various weak buffs. Even if the opponent has a critical hit rate, if there is blessing, there may be problems that cannot be exploded. Condition. The increase in luck value has even changed Lu Shu's attributes. Quickly open the character panel. Characters. Divine Tree Master, Tree Raider. Powers, Resonance, Teleportation, Clone Technique, Hallucination. Occupation, Shadow Assassin, Grandmaster Level, Necromancer, Advanced Level. Skills, Advanced Carpentry, Advanced Miner, Advanced Decomposition, Advanced Camouflage, Advanced Cooking, Devil's Curse, Devil's Contract. Training Level, Xiantian Level 5. Talent, 100-fold increase, SSS-level, Fruit of All Realms, SSS-level, Spring Resurrection, SSS-level. Luck, C+. Spirit, A. Sacred Tree, 3. Other than that, the products of the Divine Tree have also been updated. Products, Purple Chi Fruit, Purple Chi Gong Technique Fruit, Innate Shen Technique Fruit. Production cycle, 3 days, 1650/550. Purple Energy Fruit. Lu Shu's eyes moved. It seems to be a fruit related to cultivating immortals. But why does it feel different? The Purple Qi Gong method makes Lu Shu feel that this is a brand new cultivation mode. In any case, after a period of practice wait, when the fruit matures, the answer will be revealed naturally. Dusk. The afterglow of the setting sun passes through the sacred tree and shines on the faces of these sleeping little guys. The sun sets at dusk, and the years are quiet. One Pikachu's eyes trembled and he opened his eyes. It looked like he had woken up. The other little guys also got up one after another. Although it was delayed for half a day. However, Pikachu and Uami's energy has returned to its peak state. It's time to leave for the Grey Realm. Lushu condensed a clone again. A light curtain of teleportation array descended. The large army of the Grey World rode again. Grey World. Location, Adventurer Town. Coordinates, 50, 51. Danger factor, E. Items, low-grade wood, low-grade ore, treasure map, map. This is a safe zone. Not even a few zombies. If adventurers can find this town, they can collect a wave of supplies without any worries. Certainly. This place has also been explored by most of the sacred tree masters. Many carpentry shops and mines are now empty. As long as it is a valuable material, in the eyes of the sacred tree master, no matter how small the mosquito is, it is still meat. However, Lushu's eyes were focused on one of the items. Treasure map. It's different from other safe areas. In the adventurer town, a special item with a treasure map appeared, which attracted Lushu's attention. Uami and Pikachu, open up the exploration formation. 130 meters apart. Explore within this area. Lu Shu immediately ordered. With the blessing of the search torch, at this moment, the perception range reached 130 meters. In addition, Uami has now unlocked the sparkling fruit, and her speed is not slower than Pikachu, and she can also come out alone. It's active. To put it simply, the role of this cat is no longer limited to hanging on others, but also has the ability to fight independently. Soon, a vast army began to search the adventurer town. Tip, 130 meters ahead, low-level wood X1 appears. Tip, 130 meters ahead, low-level ore X1 appears. Searched for a while in a pile of scraps. Half an hour passed. Lushu didn't seem to find anything valuable. Just when he frowned and thought about leaving just now, suddenly, text pops up in front of your eyes. Tip, 130 meters ahead, a treasure map appears. Get the treasure map and have a chance to find the hidden area in the Grey World, where there are endless treasures waiting for adventurers to explore. Finally found. Lushu's eyes lit up. The location of this treasure map is really secretive. It's hidden under a statue of a god. Fortunately, I have the ability to give hints. After confirming the location, I fiddled around here for a while and finally found the treasure map. The treasure map was dug up. Treasure map. Location, Yunmen Holy Land. Coordinates, 51, 53. Description, a world hidden in the grey mist boundary. If you can find these locations, congratulations, you will open the door to a new world. This location. Lushu took out other maps and compared them. He unexpectedly discovered that there were basically no copies near this location. There are no iconic buildings or locations, it seems like a blank slate. And this location is actually the location of the treasure map in the Grey Fog world. Yunmen Holy Land. This name is quite interesting. I don't know what it's like inside. Lushu immediately called all the troops to assemble. Next, the rush formation is used. Anyway, the location of the treasure map is quite convenient, there's no problem in looking for it. En route. There will be 2 normal level dungeons. Lushu thought. Use the ability of Shadow Kill. A dark shadow suddenly emerged from the ground. The outline of his body is exactly the same as Lushu's. This is the shadow summoned by Shadow Kill. Lushu controlled the shadow and went to the dungeon for a walk. Just walk around the dungeon and turn all the corners. When the Grey World invades, the monsters inside will come and send you away. There are also plant armies, TNG formations, and spiritual cannons on Lushu's island. It will be much easier to eliminate these cannon fodder during the invasion of the Grey World, and it will not waste so much time. The output of clearing this kind of dungeon is too low for Lushu now. He must either conquer the abyss-level dungeon or find other good things to explore. For example, the treasure map I just discovered. After a day and a half of movement. After rushing with all his strength, Lushu finally arrived at the coordinates, 51, 53. However, the world that comes into view is a vast grey fog. There is no town or copy here. It seems to be a grey area, an unexplored void. The treasure map isn't playing tricks on me, is it? Lushu frowned. He glanced around and didn't seem to find any Yunmen Holy Land. He looked at the description on the treasure map again. The border of grey fog. Door to New World. Could it be that the location of the treasure map is hidden in this grey fog? Lushu once again asked the large forces to launch an exploration formation. He used the fastest speed to move around the place in a random circle. At this moment, a Pikachu suddenly disappeared from the grey mist. And Lushu at this time resonance is also disconnected from Pikachu. Lost your vision. Lushu was suddenly shocked. The resonance was interrupted, this was the first time. The main body can continue to resonate with the grey world on the island. Where did Pikachu fall? Lushu immediately found the place where Pikachu disappeared. He took a deep breath and stepped in. The next second, a brand new world unfolded before Lushu's eyes. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 59. Grey Realm. Location, Yunmen Holy Land. Coordinates. Description, a sealed holy land. Many useful things can be found here. It's best to be careful and don't miss it. The dazzling sunshine slants from the east. A misty fairyland appeared in front of Lushu's eyes. The palaces and pavilions in the distance are glowing with golden light. At the end of the field of vision, there is a divine light falling from the top of a sacred mountain, which looks extremely mysterious. Is this the Yunmen Holy Land? There was a hint of shock in Lushu's eyes. Before coming here, he had no idea that the treasure map would point to such a place. He thought that the grey world should be a chaotic world with only dead souls, demons, etc. creature. Who would have thought that we could see such a scene? Lushu suddenly remembered the description of the system prompt. This is the sealed Holy Land. And over there in Castlevania, there is also the ruins of a lost Holy Land. Perhaps, before the invasion of the Grey World, there was still human civilization here, but it disappeared for some reason, or it was sealed. Take a breath of the air here. Lushu suddenly discovered that the aura of Yunmen Holy Land is quite rich. Even no less than his own sacred tree island. It is certain that this is a safe area, and there are many treasures waiting for him to go dig. It is indeed a golden dragon koi. After providing the bonus of lucky attribute, you really become lucky. Otherwise, I might not be able to find such a hidden treasure location. Lushu can be sure that he should be the first Divine Tree Master to find the Grey Fog treasure map. No Divine Tree Master has ever discussed the treasure map on the forum. Even with his ability to give hints, it took a lot of time to find these places. After a while, it became harder to find other sacred tree masters. Then, the figures of Pikachu and Uami who stayed behind the Grey World came to Yunmen Holy Land one by one, standing with Lushu. Little guys, go look around to see if there are any good things. Lushu used resonance again to reconnect the visions of Pikachu and Yumi who entered the Grey World. Then, the large army began to disperse, looking for nearby treasures. Without the obstruction of the grey mist, Lushu the view of the tree was wide open. After a while, several prompts appeared in front of me. The seeds of jade spirit grass are found ahead. 1,000-year-old ginseng discovered ahead. Ice crystal lotus is found ahead. Yunmen cotton is found ahead. Lu Shu immediately followed the prompts and looked for him. Sacred mountain. This place is rich in aura. Various kinds of ambrosia grow in it. Step forward. Millennium ginseng. Type, rare ingredients, rare medicinal materials. Function, a good thing to assist in spiritual practice. It can also be used to cook special delicacies. Other spiritual herbs are introduced in the same way. What a good thing! Lu Shu's eyes immediately lit up. These spiritual grasses can be taken back and planted. Moreover, the 100-fold increase of the sacred tree should also promote the growth of these spiritual grasses. In addition to promoting the growth of cultivation, the spiritual grasses also it can be used as high-end ingredients. Doesn't this unlock many recipes? Just relying on peas and corn at home is too little. With some unique spiritual herbs as ingredients, you might be able to cook real delicacies from other worlds. When the time comes, go to the auction house and get a limited edition, maybe it will be a hot product again. Pikachu, UMI, collect all the spiritual herbs around here. Lu Shu said. Very quickly. Pikachu and UMI turned into flashes of light and were frantically plundering spiritual grass nearby. You got X10086 seeds of jade spirit grass. You obtained millennium ginseng X10086. You obtained ice crystal lotus X10086. More than a dozen kinds of spiritual grass growing in the sacred mountain were all plundered by Lu Shu. The warehouse was suddenly filled with all kinds of medicinal materials. This is simply a treasury. In addition to spiritual grass, Lu Shu also discovered a special kind of cotton. Yunmen cotton. Category, clothing fabric. Level, rare. Function, used with advanced clothing production, it can produce clothing with special attributes and effects. Can clothing also have attributes? This is the first time Lu Shu knows about this. As for the production of high-end clothing, although it is not available yet, it does not prevent Lu Shu from taking all the cotton directly. The good things are right in front of you, don't waste them. You got Yunmen cotton X10086. At this time, a Pikachu located among the palace buildings broke into an abandoned library and suddenly discovered something. Tip: there is an illustration of clothing making skills hidden in the Sutra Pavilion. Pikachu, go find the skill illustration. Lu Shu used thinking resonance to convey his thoughts to Pikachu. Pick up. Pikachu immediately agreed, immersed himself in the pile of abandoned books, and began to search. Ding. You have obtained the primary skill illustration clothing making. Ding. You have obtained the intermediate skill illustration clothing making. Ding. You have obtained an advanced skill illustration clothing making. Do you want to study? Yes. The next second, a new skill panel popped up in front of Lu Shu. Clothing production. Level, advanced. Function, can use various fabrics to make clothes with rich styles. Give it a try. With a thought in his mind, Lu Shu used the skill of advanced clothing production. A frame popped up in front of his eyes. Do you choose to use Yunmen cotton X80 to make your own Yunmen suit? Yes. The next second, a white light bloomed from Lu Shu's body. The Yunmen-like coat draped over Lu Shu's body further highlights his extraordinary temperament and appearance. Immediately afterwards, a clothing panel appears in front of you. Yunmen clothing. Attributes: luck add 10, blessing add 5. Exclusive: Divine Tree Master Tree Man. Level: advanced. Function: clothes that increase temperament and luck. You deserve it. Can it actually increase the attribute of luck? Lu Shu's eyes suddenly lit up. He understood a little bit why this kind of clothing can only appear in the secret realm indicated by the treasure map. This means looking at the face. As the saying goes, good-looking people have good luck. Clothing while improving your temperament, can't you also increase your luck value? Lu Shu is now more and more aware that the attribute of luck is really important sometimes. The days when the luck value is improved are the most explosive. Time. Because luck is relative. In the short period of time when the luck value increases, luck can explode. If you find a location recorded on the treasure map, the harvest may not be smaller than clearing an abyss-level copy. Moreover, there is no danger, everything is free. Of course. It is certainly not easy to find a holy land. The number of such places in the grey world is also limited, so it would be difficult to find one less. If Lu Shu's luck hadn't exploded, it would have been really difficult. Uncover such a hidden treasure location. Correct. Let's make a set of Yunmen costumes for Pikachu and Yumi. In this way, the entire army will have the effect of improving luck. Lu Shu thought in his mind. Do you choose to use Yunmen Cotton X25 X100 to make a Yunmen suit for Pikachu X100? Yes. Do you choose to use Yunmen Cotton X25 X100 to make Yunmen suit for Yumi X100? Yes. Immediately afterwards, a white light appeared on the bodies of 100 Yumi and 100 Pikachu. With the advanced clothing production Lu Shu has obtained, he can make the clothing into any style as he likes to suit all characters. Soon, everyone is wearing Yunmen suits. Looking at the Divine Tree game, there are not many people who can wear such good clothes. If you look at it at a glance, Lu Shu's army seems to be the only Tycoon Krypton Gold player. Yunmen costume. Attributes, Lucky add 4, Blessing add 2. Exclusive, Pikachu X100, Yumi X100. Level, Advanced. Function, clothes that increase temperament and luck, you deserve it. Because Pikachu and Yumi are petite, they don't consume that much Yunmen cotton, and their attribute improvements are also limited. However, when this amount is multiplied by 100, luck is not as simple as adding a few points. Continue to explore in Yunmen Holy Land, soon. A Pikachu found a pile of ore behind the sacred mountain again. Collect. 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 Without saying a word, Lu Shu collected all the ores. You have obtained a rare ore, Tianling ore X 50,000. In the blink of an eye, Lu Shu obtained another large amount of ore. This can be used to station a second line of defense on the island. Lu Shu plans to place various rare plants on the sacred tree island between the second and first defense lines. The space freed up is used to plant spiritual herbs. Close to the sacred tree, the aura conditions are more intense, and the amplification effect of the mythical building has a good amplification effect on the cultivation conditions of the spiritual grass. As for the magical plants, with sunflowers there to supplement the sunlight, they can basically be upgraded slowly. Collect all the Tianling mines. At the end of the mine, a conspicuous stone tablet suddenly appeared in front of Lu Shu. Tip, the ruins of a mythical building appear ahead. Lu Shu stepped forward. The aura of the stone tablet is quite similar to that of Tianmen. I tried it with my hands and moved it away. Found it can be moved. Lu Shu carved a teleportation array on the spot. A teleported light curtain landed here. The next second, Lu Shu moved the stone tablet to his own sacred tree island. Sacred tree island. When the stone tablet appeared near the island, Tianmen suddenly let out a trembling sound. It seems to have some kind of connection with the stone tablet. This moment, the stone tablet also exudes a mysterious aura. There is an invisible connection between them. It seems that due to the existence of Tianmen, the stone tablet also recognized Lu Shu. Immediately afterwards, a panel pops up in front of you. Mythological ruins. Ruins, Tianmen, incomplete, Tiandeo stone steel, incomplete. Attribute increase, attack power add 200, defense add 200, spirit add 50, critical hit add 15%, puncture add 30, blessing add 30. Description: there are a total of Tiandeo stone stells 12 pieces. If you can collect them all, maybe you can see the real road. 12 stone tablets of heaven. Lu Shu's eyes moved slightly. When he received the reward of mythical buildings, he was still thinking about where these buildings came from. Looking at it now, there may have been mythical civilizations in the Grey World in the past. These mythical buildings are actually also the ruins of the Grey World. If we get more treasure maps and explore more Holy Land ruins, maybe one day in the future, we can really hope to collect the 12 heavenly stone tablets. If we can collect them, we can revive the mythical civilization of the past. Glory will also have an extremely terrifying effect on its own bonus. This time, I really got a big harvest. Lu Shu took a long breath. If there was only one Tianmen, the amplification effect on Lu Shu's island territory would not be that obvious. However, the addition of the Tiandeo stone tablet made the mythical buildings connected with each other, and the amplification effect was almost doubled, and the bonus effects of some special attributes are also quite amazing. Lu Shu is not the only one to enjoy this effect. Instead, all combat power in the entire field, including rare plants, etc., can receive such a terrifying increase. Even if there are 10 more, this is a difficult level dungeon, and the army on Lu Shu Island can be killed without fail. By the way, plant spiritual herbs. Lu Shu remembered that in Yunmen Holy Land, he also collected a lot of spiritual herbs, but did not plant them. Should you choose to plant Millennium Ginseng? Do you choose to plant Ice Crystal Lotus? Always select yes. The next second, a large piece of white light appeared near the sacred tree island. All the spiritual herbs collected were planted near the sacred tree. Amplified by mythical buildings and nearby auras, all spiritual plants can thrive. Soon, Lu Shu will have an inexhaustible supply of high-end ingredients. Click on Haute Cuisine. As expected, the number of recipes displayed in front of me has increased a lot. Ice Crystal Lotus stewed beef, cup beef brisket with centifolia beef tenderloin fried with green onion. This is a high-end recipe using rare ingredients like spiritual grass. Lu Shu's eyes lit up. He quickly tried to make a few dishes. Take a bite at will, the fresh juice with the aroma of meat fills your mouth. The unique fragrance of the spirit grass can easily be blended with the top ingredients. The taste is indistinguishable from each other, the heat is just right, and the taste of every bite makes people feel endless aftertaste. So cool. Lu Shu couldn't help but laugh. This taste is simply addictive. With the variety of ingredients, the taste has also become more diverse. In this way, people on the transaction interface will not be afraid of getting tired of it. The most important thing is the limited edition ingredients. It will definitely trigger a wave of discussion. And when the time comes, maybe this kind of ingredients can be exchanged for items of higher value. Open the transaction interface. Lu Shu will be on the shelves. First 50 meals of ordinary ingredients were ordered. 10 more limited edition spiritual grass recipes were put on the shelf. After all this was done, at this moment, Lu Shu heard several reminders in his ears. Ding! Your life fruit has been hatched, Sky Fox add 100. Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 60. Click. Click. Foxes with fur as pure as snow hatched out of the eggshells. First glance, Lu Shu saw their ruby-like eyes. Like the most noble species in the world. Suddenly, the figure of a flying fox flashed. The next second, the white fox rubbed Lu Shu's face with his nose. It feels soft. Quite comfortable. Lu Shu's eyes suddenly lit up. Just now, The ability activated by the Dunkong Fox made Lushu feel very unusual. This is a space-based ability. Quickly click on the Pets panel to view. Escape Fox. Type, Elf. Powers, Void Teleportation, Hostile Perception, Void Cracks. Physique, C+. Speed, A. Spirit, A+. Comprehensive Potential, S+. Elves are a race born with a very high talent for understanding the mysteries of natural laws. The attributes of the Sky Fox were as powerful as those of Pikachu, who swallowed the growth fruit when he was just born. And its potential is born with S+. This is without swallowing any devil fruit or the attributes brought by the growth fruit. Little White Fox, what are your skills? Lu Shu looked at it with surprise. He felt that although this little fox looked small, its strength should not be underestimated. Dunkong Fox nodded obediently. Then, with a slightly proud expression, he stood in front of Lushu. All skills at the moment. Void Teleportation. The first skill is activated. The figure of the little white fox flashes instantly. At most, it can flash to 1,000 meters away. The space power is different from teleportation, it can directly reach the other side of the space. Lushu couldn't help but nodded. This skill can be said to be quite practical. Then, the little white fox suddenly opened a crack in the void in front of him. As the figure disappeared into the crack, the little white fox disappeared. But, relying on the mental perception of the little white fox, Lushu realized that the Dunkong Fox was actually moving in the crack. However, in this state, other enemies could not detect the existence of the Dunkong Fox at all. It was simply elusive. The ability of the little white fox is really amazing. Very suitable for conducting survey dungeon type tasks. This kind of stealth is much stronger than Shadow. Not only can it move instantly, but it can also hide in another space. It will not be discovered by the enemy and avoid all damage. It's equivalent to a creature from another dimension. Lushu was surprised. The only shortcoming may be that the little white fox itself does not have much offensive skills. The remaining hostility perception is also reserved for detecting crises at any time and for escaping. The creator will always use it in the masterpieces created. Leave a little flaw. There is no absolutely perfect existence in the world. However, Lushu will not worry about this problem. His sacred tree can also produce devil fruits and supernatural fruits. Then just give the little white fox a piece of fruit, you can take off. By the way, the fruits of growth. Lushu suddenly realized that the second production cycle of his growing fruits has arrived. There are still 300 growing fruits in the warehouse that can be given to the little white fox. Come here, little ones, it's time to eat. Lushu called all the little white foxes and gathered around here. Soon, 100 little white foxes started teleporting, and they all touched Lushu's face. Suddenly, Lushu's face was covered with endless white flowers, surrounded by soft things. I have to say, the hair on the little white fox's body is really soft and delicate. Once you touch this feeling, you just can't put it down. The same is true for the face. A bitter smile. Lushu will grow fruit. Take it out. Ba. Ba. The sound of the little white fox swallowing crazily can be heard on the field. These fruits of growth seem to have a fatal temptation for pets. 3 times 5 divided by 2. All the fruits have been eaten. At this moment, the body of the little white fox changed. It was a bit bigger than before, and the hair on its body became longer. However, the longer hair not only did not look messy and shabby, but also made it look more beautiful. The nobility of the white fox. With its graceful arcs and impeccable white figure, it is like God's beloved child. After growing and enlarging, its ruby-like pupils reveal invisible nobility. This is the bloodline of a king engraved in the bones. The important thing is, the white fur feels better to the touch. Happy X2. No. I have 100 little white foxes. Happy X200. Open the pet panel again, and at this time, the attributes of the little white fox are obtained again updated. Escape fox. Type, elf. Abilities, void teleportation, hostile perception, void cracks. Physique, B+. Speed, A+. Spirit, A+. Comprehensive potential, S+. The basic attributes have been improved a lot. But these attributes are not so critical to the little white fox. Therefore, the potential still remains at S+. If you can swallow a suitable devil fruit, then the potential of the little white fox will exceed the SS level. I'm afraid it won't be a problem. Lushu showed expectant eyes. Unexpectedly, the next pet that will break through the SS level the fastest will be the newly born little white fox. Little guys, go to the teleportation array. There are other partners in the gray world. From today on, you will fight side by side. Lushu touched the hair of the little white fox and said with a smile. 100 little white foxes nodded at the same time. The next second, the figures of 100 little white foxes arrived at the teleportation array at the same time. As the teleportation light curtain descended. Soon. The little white fox went to the gray world, ready to fight side by side with Pikachu and Yumi. Trading panel. Seller, Lushuran. Product, braised beef brisket. Quantity, 50. Condition, exchange for a pack of primary fertilizer. Seller, Lushuran. Product, braised beef brisket. Quantity, 50. Condition, exchange for a pack of primary fertilizer. When the items hit the shelves, it was quick. The chat box is becoming lively again. World public screen. It's almost time, Lusha Boss has started putting out delicious food, why don't you grab it now? Don't rob it, don't rob it, you crazy people are robbing more and more every day, can't those big guys who have eaten it let us have a fresh taste? I advise you newbies who have never tried the delicious food of Lusha Daokyo, it is best to give up. It's not that you won't be able to grab it in your life, it's because if you do, you will regret it for the rest of your life. The correct answer upstairs, ever since I took a bite of the delicious food from Lusha Boss, I now dream about grabbing food. However, every time I have such a dream, I wake up hungry in the middle of the night. That feeling is really too uncomfortable. After you say this, I am even more curious about the taste of the delicious food made by Lusha Boss. At this time, some old customers who didn't grab it let out extremely painful wails. Why did Mr. Lushu only give out 50 portions of ingredients today? Wait, look, there is a limited edition one there. Why do you suddenly need 10 packets of primary fertilizer in exchange? This is too expensive. The sale was so good that the price increased. One portion of food and one pack of primary fertilizer are okay for a try, but 10 packs of primary fertilizer are a bit too expensive. Well, you think it's expensive, but I just took a look and found that it was sold out. Awesome. Many big guys who were not short of money also began to spend money to buy Lushu's delicacies. Their minds were turned on and they agreed without thinking. But I didn't see clearly that the condition is 10 packs of primary fertilizer. The price is a bit expensive. The expressions of some bosses became a little distorted. Forget it, it's just a luxury just once, what's wrong? At least I still got it. Although it is a bit of a loss, they are not short of this. However, when they opened the beef stir-fried with scallions, the unique aroma overflowed and entered the nasal cavity, immediately stimulating the taste buds on the tongue. Zillioo! I can't help but salivate. Could this be? The bosses who grabbed the limited edition ingredients widened their eyes. They carefully put the food on the plate into their mouths, not daring to waste a drop. The next second, the chat box exploded again. Ah, Mr. Lushu, please go around me, you can actually make such a delicious food that is the ultimate in the world. Tears. I'm in tears. I will never regret eating such delicious food in this life. I thought that 10 packs of basic fertilizer would be a big loss in exchange for such a portion of food, but if given another chance, I would be willing to exchange it for even 100 packs of high-level fertilizer. What the hell? Are these guys upstairs the big guys who grabbed the limited edition delicacies? Is it so exaggerated? Not to the point, not to the point of. I, Zhao Rishan, swear that if there is even a trace of hypocrisy in the feelings I express, I will never say Rishan in my life. I am willing to go broke and sell all the items in my warehouse just to eat this food again, it's so delicious. Hateful. Why do I feel like the food I grabbed today is a little bit off? You guys, just grabbed it, why are you showing off? Envy. Envy. The limited edition delicacies sold by Lushu once again triggered a storm of discussion. These discussions naturally fell into Mu Tingfeng's eyes. Seeing that there is more delicious food, I feel restless, and tossing and turning. Mu Tingfeng took a deep breath and looked melancholy. That guy actually made something even more delicious. After getting along with each other for a period of time, Mu Tingfeng can confirm that the tree lover will not just sit on the ground and raise the price. He thinks that the value of limited level delicacies is 10 packs of primary fertilizer, so that is 10 packs. After all, limited level delicacies are also it requires very rare ingredients to make it. Such ingredients are hard to find. Maybe the tree tucker won't have a lot of them in his hands, which can be exchanged for 10 packs of primary fertilizer. In Mu Tingfeng's eyes, it makes sense. I thought hard. Mu Tingfeng finally couldn't sit still. He sent an invitation to the tree lover. Chat window. Mu Tingfeng, I want to exchange for limited level delicacies. I can use 10 packs of high-grade fertilizer. Tree raising man, sorry, all sold out. Mu Tingfeng, what about the superpower fruit? Tree building man, what superpower? Mu Tingfeng was speechless. This guy, at first glance, it seems he still has some source of goods. As expected. You've been fooled. But there was nothing she could do about it. After all, she was in need of someone else, and there was nothing she could do about the price being raised. Mu Tingfeng, I have a monster profit fruit. When I get close to the dungeon, I can see the types of monsters inside, as well as the information and location of the boss. Do you need this fruit? Lushuran, it can be exchanged. Mu Tingfeng, I need 1 meal of this limited edition delicacy every day. Lushuran, the output is limited, once every 10 days. Mu Tingfeng, 3 days. Lushuran, 11 days. Mu Tingfeng was immediately dumbfounded. Can the price be higher as the price is lowered? 7 days. The value of my fruit is very high. At least it has an S-level grade. I don't know how many sacred tree masters begged me, but I didn't even change it. Mu listened to the wind and said in an authentic voice. Okay. Lushu agreed. 7 days is indeed Mu Tingfeng's psychological expectation. Lushu has long seen this. It's not that easy to play a price psychological war with yourself. Complete the transaction. Ding. You got a monster profit fruit. Lushu immediately swallowed the fruit. Soon, a new superpower panel pops up in front of you. Monster profit. Level, S-level. Function, when you are in a copy, you can get the location and information of all nearby monsters, and you can see the boss situation outside the perception range. This skill is indeed powerful enough. Lushu nodded. In this way, he could also confirm that one of Mu Tingfeng's fruit talents is the ability of prediction. The other 2 talents are not clear. This woman can be in the rankings, with such high points, the other 2 powers should not be bad. Record this information. Lu Shu condensed a clone again and returned to Yunmen Holy Land through the teleportation array. Yunmen Holy Land. At this time, there were 100 more little white foxes around Pikachu and Yumi. When those ruby-like pupils fell on Pikachu, the little guy took a step back in fright. "Why do you have red eyes? Very scary." The little white fox suddenly felt sad. "Are you serious about taking a step back?" Fortunately, Yumi turned into a flash of light and landed on the little white fox. Yumi's character is more playful, and she quickly became familiar with the little white fox. Pikachu saw that the little white fox didn't seem to have any ill intentions, so he approached it cautiously. It didn't take long. These little guys became familiar with each other. Lu Shu smiled and watched the little guys playing and making fun, and the scene became lively. At this time, there was a voice in my ear. "Tip, there is a prophetic stone wall behind you." Lu Shu frowned and followed the direction of the prompt. In an overgrown area. The prophet's words are engraved on the hidden stone wall. It's similar to the prophecy Lu Shu saw in the Lost Holy Land. Disaster is coming, and the prosperity of any holy land will be in vain. The existence in the disaster is watching us. Only a short sentence. But the amount of information contained in it made Lu Shu frown slightly. Existence in disaster. Does it mean the gray world? Why does the gray world exist? Shaked his head, he couldn't find the result yet. He searched around the area. Almost all the places in Yunmen Holy Land have been visited. There are not many valuable things left. It's time to get out of here. Lu Shu led a large force and walked back towards the junction point between Yunmen Holy Land and the Grey Realm. Returning to the Grey Realm with coordinates, 51, 53. Here, it is very close to the Abyss of Dead Souls. There is no one on the way. Encountered some danger. Lu Shu spent a day and successfully arrived near the Abyss of Dead Souls. Open the panel. Countdown to Grey Realm invasion, 1 day.